from the Incomparable. Yeah,
as long as he's streaming to that account, it should show up on Total Party Kill.
Maybe it doesn't refresh yet. When I go to
It'll take about 5 minutes.
It says Total Party Kill is not currently live.
There's a 5-minute cache.
We're not even live yet. Zoom and YouTube are still talking, and now we're live, I believe.
Yes, and it may take up to 5 minutes for it to show up because of the way it's cached.
And I can tell you what the live is. I can just tweet out the live link. How about that from Total Party Kill?
I was going to tweet it. I already had the thing drafted.
Okay, then let me just put it in the Slack, and you can pick it up from there. It's fun. People are on the internet watching.
I can literally get it from the
things.
Zoom,
there
Zoom
it is.
Link.
There's the YouTube link.
We on Dog and Pony.
Not the Zoom link. You don't want any Zoom links, or people will join us in the chat.
Don't send the Zoom link. We love our listeners, but don't.
The YouTube link that I just pasted in.
Yes. How come I didn't do Eberron Express? There we go. We've been doing pronouns on Dog and Pony Show. If people want to add those to your Zoom doohickey and or use those when you introduce yourself. Let me just see. All right, it's time for murder on the Eberron Express. If you click in the little 3 dots next to if you mouse over the picture of you in Zoom, you can change your name to whatever you want. My work setup is that I have my name and pronouns. Some people in work settings have their title or whatnot, but it's a nice to do thing, I think, for YouTube. I was just going to tag everybody, and there are so many of you.
There are so many of us.
Murderers. I know how this ends.
This was one of those,
I know how it
probably
starts.
This was one of those, probably this would have been a lot more manageable with 5, but it was like, which of you can I turn away? And the answer was none of you.
None of us.
None of you. You're all, you're all too precious to me.
You're big
Aww. You loved.
I hate you.
It's a precious.
He might
sort of.
I mean, murder us all by the end.
You're all equally precious, which is to say, I despise you and what you have turned me into.
Tony's the killer, and we're all dead by the end. Is the real plan.
I knew it.
All right. I have tweeted a thing. You're tagged in it. I will go to one of my accounts and retweet it because that's what I do.
Do the same.
All right. There are 12 people watching on YouTube already. Hello, nerds. We are.
I wonder if Erica's mom is there.
Hello,
Hi, Renee.
Renee. Yeah.
Probably
Renee's
not.
always there in my heart, regardless of whether she's physically there.
So we are just getting things set up here, but we will be.
Let me say the new great internet catchphrase that's sweeping the nation, which is, "Hi, Dan."
No, you gotta.
Hi, Dan.
Yeah,
Hi,
you gotta do it like Kathy's
Hi,
gotta do. No, it's like,
Dan.
hey, Dan. No, hey. How did I get the one? There's
weird.
2 words in this saying, and I got one of them wrong.
Hi,
Hey, Don.
Bob.
Hi, Dan.
Fans.
Hey, Don.
Listener Will Wagner has tweeted to say, FYI, the YouTube chat isn't working. I also wasn't sure.
I was wondering
YouTube
why
chat
nobody
now?
was like
I know.
chatting to us.
You can go to the Slack, member Slack, and be there. I don't know, but YouTube is just doing its own thing. I literally just press the button that says "Go live."
Yeah, I get an
no
error.
control.
Try again. I'm sorry, 18 people watching now. We don't have control over the chat. If you are Incomparable members, you can hop into the TPK Slack in it for Incomparable.
That's weird.
yeah.
I blame YouTube.
I'm not sure why. I'm very sorry.
I blame you too.
Damn you, Bono.
All right. Let me check. Is anyone not recording their local track yet?
Got Elvis.
I'm recording.
4.5 minutes of gold.
Beautiful.
Well, let's just agree on 4.5.
4.5 minutes of lead that we will
Of
turn
audio.
into gold.
Audio lead.
Audio lead. Goes over like an audio
boy.
lead balloon.
Ugh.
Some kind of Led Zeppelin joke in there somewhere.
Big audio nitroglycerin.
All right. Should I start the thing? It's only 2:11. We have like usually a good 20 more minutes of wasting time buffered into my expectations.
Much easier when we don't have
It's
to
not
try
Tuesday
and,
night, Tony. We're ready to go.
Oh, this is real. This is Sunday. Sunday is business day. Not like the frivolity that is
Sunday
Tuesday night.
is business day.
Yeah.
Business day?
Day.
Yeah, it's business day. It's fun to say day in a
day.
it's fun to say the word
Like
day
electronic
in a
chords.
rising. Yes.
Someone just tweeted, "Hi, Dan."
Monty Ashley reference acknowledged. So all right. Someone has let me know via another way that YouTube chat is not working. I think that YouTube chat is not
We love our
working.
listeners.
I think maybe YouTube chat is not working. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's
All
not
right.
working.
I'm going to start the show momentarily. What do I need to say before I do that? Nothing.
Hi.
Nothing is what I need.
Anything you want.
All right. I don't. This is gonna be. It's gonna be weird and different. I don't know. I'm out of control. Everything's great.
Do it.
Do it.
Make it so.
Let me just find my notes.
Just gotta remember to lean back. Leaning back.
Most of this is just going to be us yelling at each other. You'll be fine.
That's what. Thank you, Monty. Monty, I'm relying on you most of all.
No pressure.
This is based on my idea that Monty performs well under pressure. So. Oh. No, I did remember there were some logistical things. Did anyone wish to attempt to smuggle an item on board? Specifically reminding you that I told you that weapons are not permitted on the Eberron Express. So theoretically, most of your kind of anything beyond your kind of personal belongings would be checked into the cargo hold, which is not an area you would have easy access to. I believe only the conductor would have the keys to access the cargo hold. Did anyone want to try and smuggle anything?
Tony, the
yeah.
question is, would the conductor be armed as a matter of course or no?
I don't think so. Did it say anything?
I don't
I don't think so. I don't think you're walking around. I don't think you're walking around with a gun or a weapon.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like.
What
I mean,
kind
I
of
guess
trains do you go on?
Yeah. Well, I was like, I guess it depends on. Hey, let me tell you, in America,
Old West trains in America.
Yeah.
You know,
well, hey,
train robbers, explosions, stuff like that.
In Boston, I traveled back when I used to have a commute. I would travel through North Station every day, and it was not uncommon for there to be, not on the train itself, but at the main train station, lots of state police just standing there with assault rifles. I will tell you that felt weird, but that was not uncommon.
It
Tony,
does make
yeah.
sense as to why they spec the conductor as a basically an open hand monk. Then,
So Tony, I have a staff,
Mm-hmm.
and I have both. Well, I mean, I have minor illusion. I don't know if and prestidigitation. I don't know. Could I make an attempt to try and conceal it as a in some way as a non-weapon? It is just a staff.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's just like as a walking stick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's we're gonna do this right now before the episode starts. This is gonna be a contested check. Let me tell you, this adventure will have more contested checks than probably any D&D session you've ever played.
Awesome. Who rolls dice better? The adventure.
Yeah.
Before the adventure even starts, Jason.
Yes.
I won't give away your character name yet.
No.
Why don't you roll sleight of hand? Your choice, sleight of hand or deception. Probably
great.
depends how you're doing it. And conductor. We've Dan. Conductor could be anybody. Dan, your choice, whichever is better for you. Investigation or wisdom.
So this is very much oh my good man, this is just my walking stick.
Yeah.
definitely
Deception.
more investigation.
Well, let's see how Jason's deception roll first.
Too late.
It's a critical hit. Plus
Wow.
6.
Ooh,
Wow.
impressive.
Dan.
Apparently rolled an 11.
All right. Strong
It's
start.
just a stick.
Strong start.
Jason can bring on staffs for everyone.
All right.
I brought my whole staff with me.
Let's get going with the episode because there's 28 people watching me make you roll dice before the adventure starts. And they
That's
are
all we
already,
do.
each of them is already penning me a missive about how I failed as a dungeon master.
And that the YouTube chat doesn't work. Don't
And
forget.
the YouTube
Never
chat.
forget.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Come on,
sorry.
Tony. Fuck up.
That's not what I do. So let us do the thing. Hello and welcome back to Total Party Kill. It's me, Tony Sindelar, he, him, his, Dungeon Master to the stars. That's right. Today's episode features stars or podcast stars or some of my favorite people that I know, one of those things is true. We are doing something very different today. Today, we are starting off a new adventure. It is Dungeons and Dragons, but I can almost certainly assure you, to the extent that I have control over this adventure, there will be neither a dungeon nor a dragon in this adventure. Today, we are doing something very different, something very cluish, something very Among Us. We are playing a murder mystery. We are playing a published adventure called Murder on the Eberron Express. This takes place in the Eberron setting, which is a little bit different than your classic Dungeons and Dragons. It's a little bit steampunky. It's a place where magic and invention are much more prevalent than they are in normal Dungeons and Dragons, in part because it takes place on a train, and trains are not prevalent in Dungeons and Dragons, unless you're confused about the difference between trains and dragons, in which case you've got other problems going on. So I am not going to do the usual introduction of our players and their characters. You're going to meet them as our adventure unfolds. Let me tell you about the setting for our adventure. So this is in the world of Eberron, a place where magic and mechanisms are kind of infused together. There are many inventors and artificers out there building things that have huge impacts on the world. Inventions like high-speed rail, inventions like war machines that stop across battlefields, all kinds of strange creations, fundamentally changing the way things are. The world of Eberron is one that is not always a happy place. Our adventure today takes place 2 years after what was known as the Last War. The Last War in terms of the war to end all wars, not just the war that was most recently. So things are still kind of on edge. Many people fought in or certainly lost people in that last war, but much money was made. People amassed power, and things are still kind of simmering beneath the surface, even if open conflict is no more. Our setting for today's adventure is on the luxury Eberron Express, a lightning rail transit that travels from the city of Sharn, SHRAN, to Fairhaven. It is a 3-day trip, and today's adventure takes place on the last day of that trip as we are getting close to Fairhaven, among the passengers and the individual who works in the first class carriages here on the Eberron Express. So I believe that our adventure is going to start with one Dan Morin. Dan Morin, please welcome to the adventure. Can you remind us who you are and who you will be playing today?
Hi, I'm Dan Warren. I will be playing the character of Fontaine, who is the conductor on the lightning rail. We both use he, him pronouns. Okay.
So, Dan, it is the start of your shift. I think we're going to say that it's about 6 a.m. in the morning. The train, it's nonstop from Sharn to Fairhaven. Maybe there's a few short, brief places where they fuel up or resupply, but there are no stations, as it were, between those. And so the train has been rolling away all night, but it's 6 a.m. and you are up and about, moving around the first class carriages, doing the things that conductor does on day 3 of a 3-day journey.
Let's just open up to this. Mr. Baker. Sort of see a figure slumped over a table in the dining car.
Yeah, as you make your way into the dining car, you recognize, at least the back of one of the first class passengers, Egan Baker, a noted artificer and somebody that you've had some interactions with in the past, beyond the short trip you've had with him today. It is unusual to find a passenger in the first class car sleeping in the dining car. All of the first class passengers have, they're small but comfortable compartments in a separate carriage for all the sleeping quarters. So, maybe not the first inebriated passenger you found passed out early in the morning in the dining car, but not a usual thing that one would expect here on the Eberron Express.
I shake him, try to wake him up.
As you shake him, he falls out of the chair where he was slumped over the table, and it appears that he is very unwell. He is so unwell that I think you would say he is dead. Dead with a capital D. Egan Baker appears to have been shot twice in the back. There are exit wounds in his front, and a great deal of blood has pooled underneath the table that he was slumped over, and now you've knocked him out of that. And so there's a decent amount of blood everywhere now, including, I would say, there's some amount of blood on you. Congratulations.
Sovereign host. He's dead.
Were you yelling that or muttering that?
Probably a startled exclamation.
Okay. Let us jump over to one of the first class cabins nearby. You're just the next carriage over, and there is a decent amount of background noise with the train rolling. Perhaps you're already awake in your cabin, even if you are not stirring yet. Kathy Campbell, you have heard someone yell, "Sovereign host, he's dead." Could you introduce yourself and your character?
Absolutely. I am Kathy Campbell, and I will be playing Kaeli Jones, who is famous for being almost famous in that she is the secretary to Baker and also the secret lover of him of sorts. We both use she, her pronouns, and I am going to roll out of the bed that I am in, wrap myself in, we'll say a sheet, because that's probably easiest to grab, and run out to find out what is going on.
All right. I'm just going to move you on the map. We'll say that you approach from we'll say you came in from the east side of the dining car. You see the conductor with his whatever. I was going to agree with where you put your token.
Sorry.
You see the conductor with his fancy conductor hat and his bushy mustache, standing, looking quite startled over the very clearly, even to a non-medical observer, very dead Egan Baker. Yeah.
I would like to insert a scream right now, but I will not.
Wilhelm.
Provide one. You're welcome. And just go, "Oh my gosh, is he dead?"
Oh, ma'am, I need to ask you to stay back. This is it's a most indelicate sight. It's very disturbing. Please, we need to report this happening immediately.
But who do we report this to? You're the conductor.
Well, the protocol, we have protocols in place for such a thing. We must.
You have
report this.
protocols for people getting murdered? We checked all of our weapons. We weren't supposed to have it.
I must ask you to calm down. This is a stressful situation. I understand. Please, just give me a moment to block off the car and step into the back into the first class car. Please, I will be with you in just a moment.
As the conductor speaks of blocking off the car, from the other end of the dining car, the door slides open, and one Evelyn Baker enters. You've been on this train for 2 days. The other first class passengers to the extent that one would know them. It's trapped in a small train compartment for 2 days, and you know that Evelyn Baker is the wife, the spouse of the until recently successful, prominent inventor Egan Baker. She enters and is very startled and seems to be in shock. She kind of slumps over the chair nearby. Before she does that, she screams. A scream that no doubt wakens anyone else in the first class compartments.
Oh, Madam Baker, please. Oh dear. Just keep the car as clear as possible. Let me block off the area. This is most unfortunate.
From elsewhere in the first class cabins, Jason Snell is waking up.
Yes. What am I? Did I hear something? What am I doing?
Jason, could you hear a woman scream? Could you introduce yourself and your character?
Yes, I am Jason Snell. You've seen me here before, and I am playing Kalen Cool Dude, the second character I played on TPK with "cool" in the name. I don't know.
Alliteration.
And what you need to know about Kalen so far is that he's the guy who lives in the pool house behind the house. that Egan Baker lives in.
To be
And
clear,
it's just like,
there's no pool house on the train. So.
no, not yet.
All right.
Where I go, it's always the pool house.
All right. Kaylin, I don't know if you were fast asleep or already awake in your cabin, but I suspect the sound of someone screaming has brought you into the dining car.
Suffice it to say that yes, now I am in the dining car.
All right. I'm going to say that you were in the same side of the dining car as the baker's private chamber, so I'm going to put you on the west side there. Okay.
Great. Oh no! No, what's happened?
There seems to have been some sort of unfortunate occurrence. We're still looking into the matter. I must ask you to clear the car immediately.
This is unacceptable. How is Egan? Is he dead? Is he ill? What are you doing? We must take care of him immediately.
I'm afraid he may be beyond means
I
of
rush
taking
forward
care
and
of
check
him.
the body.
Mister, I must ask you to leave the body
I push past the
alone.
conductor. I will not be stopped. This is my lifelong friend. I will not be stopped. I try to push past and investigate the body.
Conductor, Mr. Fontaine, how strengthfully do you want to keep him from getting there, or is this a contested strength check?
I think I would like to push back.
All right.
This is my job. This is my area of expertise. I am trying to.
So you're a conductor and a forensics expert?
I was going to say,
where are my sunglasses?
I have a lot of questions.
I love this character.
Yeah, each of you has a deep, rich, nonsensical
Might say,
backstory.
Monty, I have a lot of training.
Oh,
This is going off the rails already.
Wow, guys, we're okay. Give me a quick contested strength check. Loyal retainer versus conductor. Kaylin versus Fontaine. Dan, sorry to clarify. Is Fontaine first name, last name? Does it matter?
Unknown.
All right, unknown. Just Fontaine.
I rolled a 12 on strength.
16.
Oh boy.
All right, Kaylin, cool dude. You push past the conductor. Give me a quick medicine check as you look at the at your friend Egan Baker.
16.
All right, you are able to conclude that he is quite dead. In fact, has probably been dead for some time. There appears to be two rather distinctive bullet hole wounds in his front, and they line up with wounds in his back. A lot of blood everywhere. And you also kind of quickly surveying the scene notice that Egan Baker's prize prototype pistol is lying on the ground next to him.
Oh, okay. I was gonna look for that.
All right. This commotion from between the conductor and the loyal retainer to the Baker family has drawn in more attention. Pushing past Evelyn Baker is one acquaintance, family friend, associate of the Baker family, one Leopold Henderson V, business partner and important collaborator with one Egan Baker. He pushes in. What's all this commotion? It's far too early for this kind of noise. We paid for first class. We demanded dignity. What is? I'm ruined. He slumps against the other wall.
A lot of
not too. Yeah, a lot, especially among the NPCs. Next into the. He's not unconscious. He's just quiet. Next into the room, coming from the other side, is a gentleman. James Thompson, would you introduce yourself and your character?
Yes, I'm James Thompson. I am playing Athor Ardent, who is a senior lecturer of applied magical technology at the Lesser University of Sharn. He has wandered into the cabin wearing a dressing gown, which was the first thing that he could grab.
All right, so you wander in here. Things are already a little out of control. You see a figure you recognize slumped on the ground, Egan Baker. He does not look very well, given by the amount of blood in his immediate area. The conductor and Baker family employee, Kaylin, are crouched nearby. An acquaintance of yours, Kaylee, is standing near you where you are, and you see Evelyn Baker and Leopold Henderson the fifth on the other side of the train car.
I note the gun on the ground, which is quite familiar to me, because Egan just keeps going on about it. And it is a particular prototype of a silenced weapon.
It is indeed. You would know it anywhere. He's been showing it off a decent amount on the 2 days of travel so far. Even though weapons are clearly forbidden on the first class, Egan Baker seems to be the kind of person who is, in your experience, it's not uncommon for him to flout rules of society in general and train rules especially.
Oh, it's the worst.
Well, I mean, is he dead?
I nod. He's dead.
I'm afraid that is the case.
There's been a train crime.
Is that
It's a thing.
thing? Okay.
Train crime CSI.
You're an expert in this.
Didn't think anybody else was.
Yes, he was shot. He was shot, perhaps by, and I point at the pistol on the ground, his own weapon.
Well, ignoring all CSI protocols, I pick up the gun.
Oh, I must insist. I must insist you leave the gun there.
I just want to check.
I insist too.
I want to see if the gun has been fired. With my extensive technical knowledge, I can tell this.
Yes. All right. Roll some kind of intelligence check to figure out something that seems very evident to everyone else in the cabin.
Is there still smoke curling off of it?
Well, I feel that this could be a red herring. Is I don't
get a grip, man. It's not a fish, it's a gun.
I'm going to roll a quick investigation of this. And I rolled an 19 plus 7. So
you study the strange workings of this prototype invention that fuses together the magic and mechanical, and you notice that quite clearly 2 charges have been spent from this thing. So it seems like it has been fired twice.
Yep, it was this gun. Puts it down on the table.
Thank you, Professor.
And this
senior
interchange,
lecturer, but
this interchange brings with it several more passengers from each end of the car. From the west side, Monty, Ashley, would you introduce yourself and your character?
My name is Monty Ashley, and like my character, I take the pronouns he/him. I am playing Jonas, who looks kind of like, let's say, Dave Bautista, both in general demeanor and size. He is a human male, but a big one. He recently showed up as Egan Baker's long lost heir.
Mm-hmm.
He does not look like the heir of a rich person.
Mm.
And he has huge
entering
hands.
from just like Monty, entering from the other side of the train car, Annette Wierstra, would you like to introduce yourself and your character?
I am Annette Wierstra, and I am playing Valenthe Leodon, who is some people might find a bit chilly and cold. And you don't know a lot about me. I'm an ice queen. But what I do for my day job is my family runs a theater company, and it's a traveling theater company. And I also teach students. I am wearing a lovely white fur trimmed dressing gown, and I come in.
Okay. Well, we have quite a cast of characters assembled here within the train car. I'll allow you all to figure out what's going to happen next. I'm here to resolve any disputes among you. That's my role as Dungeon Master today.
Wow.
To tell you which of you is right and which of you is wrong. You're all wrong. But this is a story we tell together where we find out what kind of wrongs you are. What is next, people?
I immediately say to the conductor, this is outrageous that you've allowed this murder to happen here. I demand that you release Blue Shield, his bodyguard, which you insisted on impounding in the storage car to aid and assist in protecting the rest of his family and aiding in the investigation of what happened here.
I don't think that a a bodyguard is going to do much good now, Mr. Cool Dude.
Perhaps it will stop another murder on your murder train, Mr. Conductor.
I have been the conductor for years on this line, and nothing like this has ever happened before. It is
And
outrageous.
yet
of you to
today there was
accuse
a
me.
murder.
Well,
Oh my God! Somebody murdered. Jonas looks around at everybody. I didn't do this. I just got here.
Nobody has accused you of anything, son.
All right.
I suggest we all
keep
take
it
a
that way.
moment to calm down, please. Give some space to the body. Perhaps we can just take a moment. And Fontaine would like to take the tablecloth off the table here and sort of drape it over the body for the moment.
All right. The tablecloth is pretty soaked with blood, so it's what you've done is grisly, but it does cover up the face of the dead man.
I cast prestidigitation to clean the tablecloth.
Wow, very classy, Kalen, cool dude. Leopold Henderson V takes this moment.
Yeah, destroy that evidence. Do it quickly.
Leopold Henderson V takes this moment to yell once again, "I'm ruined!"
Mr. Henderson, please calm.
We're all ruined, you idiot.
If everybody could just
He was the only one for contributing anything.
We all just take a moment, perhaps sit down, calm yourselves. This is tragic, I agree, but we will not get anywhere hurling recriminations at one another.
People, some of the Evelyn Baker and Leopold, who had been kind of standing next to each other, having entered through the same door, suddenly kind of look at each other with suspicion, and also look at all of you, and kind of socially distance themselves throughout the train. Sorry,
Tony,
the train car specifically.
Tony, would there be a method in the dining car for, say, contacting the engine or something like that, or otherwise alerting?
We'll say that over by there's kind of the I don't know what you call it in a train car. I want to call it a bar. It's not a cantina.
Galley.
Galley. I looked up a lot of train words before this, but most of them didn't seem to apply to lightning trains. So
camshaft.
Conductor, there is on this high-speed luxury train a way of communicating with the other staff on the train car. This train, it's experimental, luxurious. I will just tell you, conductor, that all of the first class passengers are present and accounted for at this point. There is a second class car with probably about 10 passengers in there. There would be a limited number of staff who has access to a galley, and of course the engineer himself at the front of the train. Those areas of the train are only accessible from here via lock doors, of which you are would be the key holder as the conductor. But yeah, there's basically a box with a steampunk version of a intercom system you can use. Yep. Yes.
All right. So I would like to go over. I would like to give a glare at Mr. Cool Dude and somewhere else, just sort of like warn them off, interfering with the body any further. And
glare back at him. Do we have a contested glare check we can do, Tony?
I think you succeed in the
that.
glare.
You both succeed in glaring.
As he moves away, I move closer to the body, ignoring that glare, and I look at the body and even touch it to see if I can tell the temperature and guess what time.
All right.
How long has that body been sitting there?
I let her do it. I just let her go right by.
Yeah.
I don't care.
You're going to do a medicine check while the conductor is distracted making his old-timey phone call.
And apparently I'm very upset because I have a 3.
All right. I'll tell you about your thing in a second. Fontaine, let's resolve your phone call.
Okay. Operator, give me engine 247.
It only goes to the other things. All right, you patch through to the engine. The engineer's there. The engine is quite noisy, so there's lots of. I'm going to need help with this. Chugga noise in the background.
We've had an unfortunate accident in the dining car. I need to speak to someone at the line. I don't know.
Get a load of this guy.
The engineer comes back. It's crackling.
How long y'all been a conductor?
You know the protocol. Lock it down. We'll be at Fairhaven in 4.5 hours. I'll wire ahead. Make sure the authorities are waiting.
Thank you. All right.
This
I
is
will.
this is your first murder in all your time, and you have a protocol for this.
Yeah, very
Just because it's
suspicious.
his first
It's
murder.
my.
Mhm.
I haven't been on the list.
I
your
think you
first
did-
murder.
Your
That's-
first
that-
murder.
I think you did a
eh?
great
Yeah.
job. Who's holding the gun, Tony?
I don't. I
It's
think
on the
that,
table.
I think it's
yeah,
on
I
the
think
floor.
I put
the
it down
scholar
on the
put it-
table.
Yeah,
the
James
scholar
put
put
it
it back
up.
on the
He
table.
put it
I would
up.
like
let
to
me,
lock
hold
this
on.
door here and then basically make my way back across, glaring at everybody until I get to the other side, and then lock that door.
All right, we'll let me check in if the other passengers allow you to do that without issue. But let's go back to Annette. Annette, sorry, can you remind your character's name is
Valente.
Sorry, the tokens overlapped and I couldn't read it. Valente. You did a medicine check and you rolled a
3.
All right, I'll tell you, with a 3, that's pretty limited. Does appear that he is quite dead. I'm going to say that you are not sure. He has been dead more than an hour. He's cold. And, you saw him yesterday. So sometime between last night and an hour ago, he has been murdered, apparently via bullets. Yes, it does appear that he was, I will say, yeah, even with a 3, it does look like he was shot in the back because there are bullet holes in him and in the table that he was slumped over. So it would be
Tony-
very, very hard to shoot him in the front through the table, I would say.
Can I, since
But
I ran up
there's
to the
no
body and
evidence
all
of
of that, I'm interested if I could like take a quick look around and see if there's any other suspicious sort of things around in the crime scene that might give a hint of what happened here.
All right, let's jump to Dan's thing and see if that gets
Okay.
resolved first. So Fontaine has locked the door to the east of the dining car. Just to let you know, the first class carriages are basically toward the back of the train. There is in the dining car. There is your carriages were either to the east or west of this train car. Moving toward the front of the train. After first class carriages, there is basically a carriage with the galley and the conductor's quarters. Then second class, then cargo, and then the engine itself. So it's not a super long train. Fontaine is moving through the car, which means he has to pass by all of you, and he has clearly locked one of the exits to this room. Anyone wish to say or do anything as that's happening?
I am going to pick up the gun again, and I'm going to take the bullets out of it.
Whoa. Put that gun down, pal.
All right. So no one has stopped Fontaine. Fontaine, you have locked all the exits to this room. Sorry. Let's jump. We're
Now it's a
jumping around
locked
a lot.
room train crime.
Kaylin, cool dude. You were inspecting the murder scene.
Yes.
Looking around. Well, it does look like there's glasses and is it snifter? Is that the right word? A big. What's the thing that
If there's
brandy
a small
comes in?
thing, a decanter.
A decanter. There's a decanter. It is knocked over. Unclear if that was from some kind of struggle or previously just an accident. But it seems like Egan Baker was sitting here drinking, and until something happened. Maybe there were bullets in that brandy.
Maybe.
I'm not a-
I think if
I'm
bullet
not-
is
I'm a
bourbon, isn't
dungeon
it?
master. The D and Dungeon Master is for dungeon, not for Doctor Master.
So there's only exit wounds on the body, not entry wounds. That's what we're saying.
Ooh, that's actually a great murder
Ooh.
mystery.
Ate
Yeah,
the gun.
that's
and it-
it's very steampunk. You make someone swallow the bullets and then you expose them
And
to a
then
very
they-
high-powered magnet.
So since I'm standing there, can I look and see if I can tell what direction he's sitting? If he shot through the back, can I make a guess as to did someone come from the east or the west and shot?
I'd say it's. I mean,
him?
he's sitting at one of these booths by a window. It sure seems like somebody was right behind him.
Which direction is behind him?
South,
Like, okay,
like right where you
we
happen
can't
to
tell.
be standing.
Right where
speaking.
where I am
Oh,
standing is where the murderer was.
Yes.
Okay.
Scholar, Athor.
Yes.
Is that how we say your name?
I thought. Yeah.
You wanted to take the charges out of this new complicated mechanism, which is
I would like to
perhaps-
stop him from doing that.
I look. So I don't want a live gun in this locked room with us.
Well, I'm going to stop you from doing that.
You can try.
Okay. I grab him.
All right, contested strength check. Based on the pictures of your character, I feel like I know where this is going. In that one of you is Dave Bautista, and one of you looks like somebody Dave Bautista might pick up for exercise.
I am holding a loaded gun, and somebody's going to try and grab me. Okay.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
And
This
I'm going
could
to try
go-
to grab when
is
that
gonna
when
go
that happens.
bad.
I'm going to try to grab the gun out of his hands. So
Okay, so let me ask to clarify there, Kaylin. You're trying to grab? Are you helping Jonas, or are you a third party in this
I am
situation?
helping in the sense that I'm going to try to put it back on the table, but because
Okay.
I don't want him to be attacked with the gun by this
All right.
guy in a bathroom.
Really looking forward to our inevitable
All right.
second murder coming up here shortly.
Yeah. So we are not very far into this adventure, and 3 people are already struggling over a loaded gun. So
That's right.
Jonas, strength check.
We don't have time to wait around for Chekhov's law to
Nope.
kick in. Let's go.
Kaylin, why don't you go ahead and roll a strength check to be ready too? Jonas and our Athor, quick strength checks. Go.
25.
11.
14.
Jonas, I
I got
think
as
you
much
are in
as you two
control of the
combined.
Yeah, Jonas, you are in control of the situation with your mighty, massive forearms. Could you tell us what happens?
I am grabbing the gun out of his hand with one hand and with the other massive hand shoving him against the nearest wall.
All right. Several of the Evelyn Baker gasp at this sudden display of violence
I
between the
gasp, too.
compatriots.
'Cause
Other
that-
gasp,
Yeah.
multi-gasp.
Gentlemen,
All
gentlemen,
right.
gentlemen, please.
I'm going to put this gun back on the table and nobody's going to mess with it anymore. Is that clear?
Fine.
Kaylin, is that compatible with what you were attempting to do? Not that you had a lot of agency in the with Jonas's
Yes.
mighty arms. All right.
Yes, I'm just trying to get the gun back down on the table.
As far as we know, loaded gun is now on the table. Scholar, I will tell you. I think
It shows up in the background of a lot of shots, just
Yes.
reminding the audience.
Scholar, I'm just going to tell you this is not knowledge that other people will have. But as you were the person to inspect the gun, this pistol is a special prototype weapon. Though some of the other people may have operated some types of artillery or gun-like weapons in the war. They're certainly not common or omnipresent here. But you know from inspecting this weapon that it holds 4 rounds and it has 2 rounds remaining in it. I don't know if I clarified that before. I think I told you how many rounds had been spent. You know how many rounds are remaining. I'm leaving it on you, creator of PCalc, to do the math on 4 minus 2. Other people, you are unaware perhaps of how many charges a gun of this type could hold.
Well, that means we've got at least 2 potential deaths coming up in the next few hours.
All right, so there's been a struggle. The gun has now been placed firmly back on the table. What's next?
I must ask you to all sit down. We will be in Fairhaven in a few hours. The authorities will take it over from there. But until then, we leave the scene undisturbed. Am I understood?
Are you going to be serving breakfast?
That is a good question. Still
Preposterous!
first-class customers.
We've paid.
We're gonna be stuck in this room with the dead body.
And he ain't eating breakfast, so there should be more for the rest of us. I am just saying.
True.
Now
true.
I'm totally on the side of Monty.
But I can't eat in front of him. That's a dead body.
He won't mind.
Oh, you get used to it, sister.
Will the bar be open?
I am suspending beverage and meal service for the remainder of the trip
What?
This
is a travesty.
unacceptable.
for the
Can
dead.
we?
Now
Can
there's a
we-
real problem on the Eberron Express.
Can we do karaoke?
No, you cannot do karaoke. The man is dead. And he was the only one who knew how
One
to
of you
the
did
karaoke
it.
machine.
That yells Leopold Henderson V. I know it. You all have that look of murder in your eyes.
Oh, it's that guy. He hadn't said anything
Yeah.
for a while.
I'm so sick of people
He
telling me
was
that.
ruined.
It's not a look of
I'm
murder,
ruined.
It's not a look of murder. It's a look of hunger. We haven't eaten anything.
Oh yeah, you were probably trying to steal that gun, huh?
Hey, Leopold,
Yeah,
why do you keep
no, that-
yelling, I'm ruined? He's the guy who's ruined down here. You seem to be breathing, although not eating or drinking at the moment because that's not happening. Why do you keep saying, I'm ruined?
Like you've ever paid for a meal in your life, Kalen.
Fair. Good burn.
Hey,
And yet
I'd like
here
to-
I am. I'm not ruined. So what's up with you?
That gun was going to put Baker and Henderson Industries back on the map.
Instead, it put him in an early grave.
He's not in a grave. He's sitting at a seat. At
What?
the
Oh,
table.
he's not even there yet.
Well, we still got the gun. How
What
much
do you know
willing-
about it, conductor?
Metaphor.
How much you willing to offer it for it there, Leopold V?
I will not haggle over a property that is clearly belonging to the
All
Baker
right,
family.
well, somebody else
He
will
looks-
probably pay.
He
That's
looks
right, Baker
at-
family. That's me. It's my
oh,
gun now.
I believe that gun will be in the possession of the authorities soon enough. So,
Evelyn,
that's
And
what
when
I'll
they're
do.
done, it's going to go to
Evel-
me. Anyone sells
Evelyn-
it, it's me.
Evelyn Baker kind of moves up wordlessly to glare at Jonas.
A lot of glaring.
I smile
Lot
at
of
her.
glaring.
Hi, Ma. Guess we're business partners now.
Don't call me Ma, says Evelyn Baker.
I am going to start like.
Seems
is
like
that-
you have a lot to gain from my dear husband's death, Jonas.
I had a lot to gain from him being alive. I'm just trying to make the best out of a bad situation here. You like my latest accent?
Yeah, it's like we went from the south.
wasn't going to say anything.
Jersey.
Wasn't going to say
let it
anything.
pass,
Was going to
Monty. You're fine.
extend
You're
you a
doing great.
courtesy. You know,
I
you,
like
as
it.
a, you know,
Or
Jonas
We're
has
getting
been
there.
a lot of places. Yeah, Jonas has covered a lot of ground in his travels. We're gonna, you know,
Roll an accent check.
yeah. Oh, we all fail. Roll with disadvantage.
I am going to move over
Leo-
here to
oh.
what seems to be a bar, and I'm going to start rummaging around. And I
All
say, I don't really know any of you, so I'm just going to see if I can find myself a drink. I think we all need a drink right now.
Madam, I must ask you to say that is lightning line property.
I continue looking.
There's several unsecured bottles of alcohol behind the bar.
I start pouring.
Yeah, Fontaine's only
Myself a drink.
half-heartedly trying to stop her. You've
I'll
got
take
bigger
one.
problems.
Yes.
Yeah.
I make everyone who wants a drink a drink.
All right.
We all move over
Right.
to the bar.
Kaylee, Athor, probably Kaylin, where are you headed? Several characters make their way over to the bar.
Oh, I'm
I mean,
going
you
to the
have.
bar.
All right.
I move
So-
behind.
No, no,
I just
you know,
move behind
actually-
the bar.
Actually, no, Tony, no, I'm not gonna go to the bar. I'm gonna stay here for a minute.
All right. So Annette, or shall I say Valente, you start making.
I'm really good at
beverages,
making drinks, so
for Athor, Jonas, Kaylee, and others.
I would like to stand. I'm sort of like moving my way back to the middle of the car, standing over the body, kind of awkwardly, like not sure what I'm supposed to do, but I'm gonna cast my eye over it while I'm there, and roll some investigation, see if I can determine any other clues or find anything else out
Mhm.
that seems connected. Do I have a thing? that's-
Why don't you roll? Yeah, feel free to roll investigation. I would say medicine if you would also be relevant.
Okay, just take a quick look at a skill.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I can. How about perception? I'll roll perception.
Sure.
I'll roll perception because I get to add a D4 to my roll. So plus a D4. 16 as I cast my over it. See if there's anything else that we haven't caught yet.
All right. Let me just read through my notes here for a second. Sorry, this is the part of the adventure where I scroll back and forth in a PDF. All right, make sure I'm not missing anything.
Does it say who did it?
Yeah, did I leave a calling card?
What? I'm sorry, you rolled a 16. Is
I
that what
did.
you said? 16.
Yep.
I'm going to just say that you felt confident that similar to Annette's. Sorry, I got to start getting in the habit of saying your character name is Valente. That he was shot twice in the back. I was going to say with the 16, you feel confident that he was, at the time that he was shot, he was already slumped over the table. And that seems to line up with the bullet holes in the table with the bullets lodged in them. And I'm going to even say with the 16, you feel confident that he was murdered sometime in the last 5 hours, but more than an hour ago. So sometime in the middle of the night. Yeah. Hey, Jason Snell, do you want to roll a quick sleight of hand?
Sure.
All right.
It's an 8.
As you are studying the conductor, as you're studying Egan Baker's body, you noticed Kalen kind of sidle over to the table, seems to be studying the body with you, but then he appears to try and do some kind of quick little magic spell on the table, specifically on the gun, and it seemed like he was trying for it to be inconspicuous, and he rolled an 8.
You, sir. Step back. What did you just do?
Well, I'm trying to keep this gun safe. I don't want it to be fired. I'm not trying to pick it up. I'm just trying to keep it safe.
What do you mean by keep it safe?
Hey, who is that guy? Hey, you, the scholar, James Ethor.
Oh.
What about
Who
me?
are you?
I'm a lecturer.
Who? And that gives you access to a gun? That's not your gun. You just walked up and started grabbing it.
No, but
how do you know about this gun?
Because Egan just couldn't shut up about it.
That's true.
You
He would
weren't
not stop
traveling with
talking
us.
about it.
You weren't
Quite
traveling with
boring.
us. When was he
Well,
telling
I
you
clearly
about this
am
gun?
traveling with you. I was just in the first class cars. I'm going to a conference in Fairhaven.
Can anybody verify this story?
What's that conference about?
I mean, I would know what his ticket is, I guess, but I imagine everyone's going to Fairhaven.
Everyone in this train is going to Fairhaven.
Yeah,
you
we're-
made that announcement day one, and you were like, if you're
It's a
not going to
train.
Fairhaven, get
We're all
out.
going to Fairhaven. I'm pretty
All
sure.
traveling together.
It's literally an artificer conference. That's what I do. So that's how I know about guns. That's how I've seen all this. I was just trying to disarm it so that nobody else here would get shot. Does
That's a
anyone
good
have
idea.
Does anyone have a problem with me disarming the gun? You, Mr. Big Hands.
Yeah, I do. I got a problem with you
So
touching that
you
gun?
want to shoot us? Is that what you're saying? Do you
I
have-
don't need a gun to kill people. I was in the war. I was in the siege of Oscalor.
Well, I think
All right,
we
we
have a
didn't need guns
suspect
there.
right here.
A lot of us were in the war, Sonny.
Evelyn Baker kind of puts herself between the two of you and says, calm down. I can Athor is an artificer. That's public knowledge. I've seen him at parties.
All right.
Artificer parties?
Yeah, they're the best parties.
Academic parties, you could
That's very
understand why
convincing.
your type wouldn't be invited.
Yeah, I get that.
It's for intellectuals.
She directed that at both the conductor and Jonas.
Ouch.
Salons, if you will.
I'm from the wrong side of the tracks, and you're from the tracks themselves. They don't like that sort of thing.
So am I going to have a drink, or am I going to disarm this gun, or am I going to do both?
Go ahead.
You don't
You'll
have
do
a-
both,
Don't have a
definitely.
drink first.
Right.
Trust a man who doesn't drink.
I will attempt to disarm said weapon.
All right, I'm going to say that this is going to be challenging. You did not create this gun. It is not a traditional gun, but you are going to have advantage because of your background in, as an artificer. So give me a intelligence check with advantage.
Okay, so I have rolled 23 or 24.
All right. You study it carefully, make sure it's pointed away from all of you while you do it, and you manage to remove. There's kind of 4 little kind of like spark plug looking little charges in them. 2 of them have clearly been discharged. The other 2 you managed to kind of pop out of the handle of the gun, and they sit there on the table, still kind of like warm and sparking with electrical energy.
I roll down the window next to the table and throw them out the window.
Is that how train? Is that how train windows work?
And we're not going to let him do that. No.
No, hey, those are valuable, and again, Baker family property.
And
Yep.
again, evidence.
Evidence. All right. Conductor and
Quite suspicious that you keep trying to get rid of the evidence, sir.
I'm not trying to get rid of the evidence. I'm trying to get rid of the chance of us
All
being
right.
killed.
That's actually a
Disarm is
great
enough.
question.
in your
Disarm is
murder
enough.
train.
Hey,
Conductor-
I want to talk about that for a second. Can I push the DM off for just 1 second?
Yeah.
Why is that gun still here? That's weird, right? When I kill somebody, I like to take my murder weapon with me
Your hands.
Also, it's this,
in the war.
and let us not forget how incredibly important an invention this is. This could be very valuable. Why would one leave it behind?
That
Unless
seems-
perhaps one were intending to get it back later anyway.
That seems more likely. I mean, many of us, I think, if he had been shot with it and the gun was missing, we would have leapt to that conclusion anyways. So perhaps the murderer only did not want to be caught with the weapon on them.
Yeah, I guess some people are like that.
That
Merely a
makes
theory.
sense. The first thing the police are going to do is search all of our cabins. So if you
No,
had
they're going
that,
to rough us up first.
well, yes,
They like to break some
as they
noses.
do. But then they'll search our cabins. You don't want that weapon on you.
Hmm.
Well, since nobody is going to let me make this thing completely safe, I'm going to go back to the bar and have a drink.
I pour you another drink.
Thank you.
You could, I mean, Athor, I think you can roll dice if you want. I think your chances of not being prevented from doing that by Kaylin and Jonas. I'm sorry. Who else wanted? Fontaine and Jonas didn't want you to do that. So I think they are strong enough that it's very unlikely. But if you want to roll dice, just to see if you have a chance, give me quick strength checks. Fontaine, Jonas, and Athor. Basically, it's as if you each, you know, one of you has advantage in that you will take the higher of Fontaine and Jonas.
Well, since I have a -1 on strength, I suspect.
You never know. You
I
can get
got,
lucky.
I got a 19, so an 18.
I'm only a 15.
Only got a 13.
All right.
Wow.
Somehow,
The
we're
muscles
bumbling with each
bulge
other,
in the
Three
dressing
Stooges
gown.
style.
yeah,
He's squirrely.
Somehow you managed to get the window cranked open, and before they realize totally what is happening, the two charges are dropped into the air and skitter away into the morning.
I would like to grab Athor by the scruff of his dressing gown, and throw him down into one of these banquettes, essentially, and then level a intimidating glare at him.
More glares.
More
All right,
glares.
got a bar
What I
fight
do.
going.
Well, now we're safe.
You have interfered with an official investigation. That was not your right to dispose of that, which could have been evidence to prove who killed Mr. Baker. I am going to insist that you stay right here where we can keep an eye on you.
You've literally locked the doors. We can't go anywhere.
Also, you're
What
going
are we
to
gonna
pay
do?
for those.
Fine, bill me.
I'm keeping my eye on you.
Well, you're supposed to keep your eye on him, but he died.
Well, I hope I do a better job with you.
So do I.
You should.
Leopold Henderson V makes his way over to the bar as well.
I pour him a drink. He likes old fashioned.
Yeah, Kaylin's gonna go over and have a drink too.
Can I have a drink?
No,
No,
And conductor can't either. He's working.
I am. I'm on the job. All right. Well, if we are locked in here for the next several hours, perhaps we can at least establish some information for the police. Perhaps each of us could describe the last time that we saw Mr. Baker. Perhaps, Madam Baker, would you care to go first?
I was headed to sleep, and I did take my sleeping draught as I am wont to. It's so hard to sleep on these noisy contraptions, and dear Egan indicated that he was going to stay up and enjoy some spirits for a little while longer, but he'd be along before too long. And I went to sleep until I was woken by this horrible commotion, and my dear Egan is dead. He's really dead.
There, Madam Baker. Fontaine will awkwardly attempt to console her.
And
She appears unconsoled.
Okay.
what were you mixing into his brandy bottle?
She avoids eye contact with Jones.
Mama? Mama? I
I've
saw
asked you
mixing
not
some-
to call me that, Jonas. We are
All
no
right.
blood relation.
I saw you mix something into his brandy bottle last night. I was wondering what it was. That's all.
It was. I will not even respond to that allegation with.
Oh,
I will not dignify it with a response.
And yet he was slumped down unconscious when he was killed, as if knocked out by perhaps
would like
what was in
to-
that bottle.
Examine that liquid if possible.
Clearly, he was not poisoned.
But he may have been drugged into a
he wasn't
stupor,
just poisoned.
given no chance to
Classic.
fight back.
It's the
Classic
double.
way of Yep.
And making it
Best way
possible
to
for
cover
some
up
little
one murder
woman
is by
like
committing
her.
another.
Oh, the old belt and suspenders murders.
Then you have to commit another murder to cover that one up.
Double murder, the classic murder.
One murder weapon is none, and two
Yeah.
is one.
What
What would it take to examine
Fontaine?
that liquid?
I think that is probably medicine, nature, something like that.
Well, those are both terrible for me. I will
Well,
try nature, but we'll see what happens.
You're
Call
welcome
yourself a
to.
conductor.
Yeah, you're welcome to involve other people in doing things.
I have a +7 on nature, but I don't know
Yeah,
if
but
you're
no,
going to
you
trust me to
should
actually look at it.
So
Yeah,
untrustworthy.
Too bad no one likes you.
Oh, is this important liquid?
Oh no, I spilled it
Mm.
in the sink down the drain.
I rolled an 11, which I'm sure will not tell me much.
All right, you dab your pinky into it and take a little taste, and it does taste off, as if it is not. I mean, you stock the you're responsible for the selection of fine brandies for the dining car yourself. It's part of your conductorly duties, and something is not right with this. And in fact, you notice there's a little bit of powder still swilling around at the bottom of the nearly empty decanter as if something had been dissolved in this brandy, but not completely.
And it was
Well.
most
Maybe I
suspicious.
don't have a business partner after all.
Was Egan Baker poisoned? Was it by his dear wife, Evelyn Baker? But what of the scholar who is already destroying evidence? What of the argumentative lost hair who seems to see this as a windfall? The business partner who claims perhaps too much that he's ruined? What about Cool Dude, who is cool and a dude? What about Kaylee? What about the Ice Queen? Both of whom are mysteriously quiet. There are so many would-be murderers here among this car. Would one of them be the murderer? Yes, by definition. That is how this adventure works. For answers to questions such as these, tune in next time to Total Party Kill. Well, live stream / bootleg, we are going to take a break and come back and do more. I think our plan is to do 3 sessions today, of which that was session 1. Yeah, I feel like a lot could happen. So we'll be back in, let's call it 10 minutes. So people get a beverage, stretch.
Just a reminder to the players, I don't have with the Zoom stream the ability to drop a curtain down on this. So if you would like to
do anything.
don't take your pants off or do what Dan did and turn off your video. That works.
I also didn't take my pants off, just to be clear.
Did you say
Yeah, that's what
you say
he said.
Can't tell.
don't turn off the video or turn off the video?
It's up to you.
Okay, but yes.
If you would like to
If
be
there is,
secretive.
there is, I will just let you peek behind the scenes here. There is the potential to do secretive things. So Kalen attempted to use some prestidigitation or minor illusion to conceal taking the gun. I had him roll in the open. If he had been successful, no one would have noticed or potentially known.
It would have
what
been
he
really
did.
cool because there would have
Would've
been an
been
imaginary gun that would have then disappeared
really
after
cool.
a minute, and everyone would have been like, "Whoa, what happened?" But it didn't.
So players, feel free to send me things that you are attempting to do. I think potentially, you could try and pull someone aside and whisper something to them, and you could do that by sending them a note in Slack. Probably you should let the other players know that that has happened. So we didn't hear what you said, but we've noticed that perhaps you've conspicuously been pulled aside, and potentially some someone could try and eavesdrop on you. But let's all take a break and then be back and do more Dungeons and Dragons in 9 minutes. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Hello. I should have got snacks. Why didn't I get snacks?
Yeah, why didn't you
I
get
didn't-
snacks?
I didn't get snack. I did get a drink. They're just a non-alcoholic drink,
It's just water.
or is it?
If you're an ice queen, can you make ice cubes in the drinks for us?
I'm having a pineapple.
I can. I can actually. I can make an ice knife that I could drop in your drink.
Huh.
Huh, interesting.
Isn't it?
This
Weird
is
that you would volunteer that.
this is how I'm like the great detective, that I just get people to reveal these little things.
I feel like I made the choice to make you roll the dice and see if the things got thrown out the window was the right choice, since it was very unlikely, but it happened.
I'm just trying to imagine a murder investigation was like, this guy's still full of bullets. Let me just take the bullets, throw it out the train.
You know, it's
There's a weird logic to it, but it is a weird logic.
you know,
Look-
some of the people on this train are weird. So
Look, academics, man.
Oh.
Tony can confirm.
hi live stream, hi bootleg. I hope you're having fun. The YouTube stream chat did start working. I don't
Oh,
know if
good.
you,
Hurrah.
I didn't realize that.
I think it may have just taken like a long time to power up. I don't know.
To like spin up. Yeah.
Who knows? YouTube is mysterious. It's everything with
ways
YouTube seems to take a little while. That
Oh
does
yeah,
not.
look, they are there.
It does not give me information. I rely on the closed captioning in YouTube for stuff I do at work, and it's like sometimes it's fine. It happens really quickly, and sometimes it doesn't. It doesn't give you a notification of like how long it's going to be until it clicks into place. So it's YouTube. Rice cakes, the most podcast friendly snack there is.
Yes.
Can you guys hear me okay?
I brought potato chips.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
You're a
okay.
little quiet, Kathy, I would say.
Okay.
Sure.
But
Well, I had a period of time where I couldn't hear anybody, and then it was because I wasn't wearing my headphones. But then I put my headphones on, and other people were talking, and I still couldn't hear. And I was
Oh.
like, okay,
putting the headphones on is a podcast pro tip, though.
yes. But for some
Rice
reason, all
cakes.
of my pages went back to the wrong side.
I agree. The worst part about Zoom D&D is no way to share the home-baked cookies at the break. Definitely.
I would
Yeah.
make extra.
You miss snacking around a table during D&D. That is one of the joys of playing in person.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Eating too many chips.
I was so Tony and Dan can both agree to this. I was so excited to play my first ever in-person D&D session, which was the one that was me and Tony and Dan and Scott all around a table together, and then the rest of the players on Zoom or Google Hangouts or whatever. And we went to that store
Grocery
where
store.
we
You
have to
just-
go up like the escalator to get into the store and all that. And I was like, buy all the snack things.
You
And
did.
I,
You did buy about 4 times more
I
snacks than we
severely
needed.
overbought because I've never had that experience, and I
Yeah.
wanted the snacky D&D experience. And then
Yeah.
Scott's like, "I'm on a diet. I don't have any carbs." I'm like, "But the
Oh no!
snacks!" We still had a good time.
It was fine.
A
I
lot
think
of
we
leftover
slowly ate those
snacks.
snacks over there.
Yeah, it sounds like
Yeah.
you had more snacks. So
I was just very
I think
excited.
those just- I think they just became,
snacks.
board game snacks the next day, and
Yeah.
I forget what else we did
week,
that week.
month.
Yep. I think
podcast
probably some of
snacks
them
the
probably
next
ended up at our house.
I was just very excited to have a D&D, like
Yeah, I could
in-person
tell. It was
D&D
good.
session. Yeah, it was great.
I have not had an in-person D&D session in a while.
Yeah.
I miss that.
Funny that. All right, it is 3:21. I finished eating a rice cake. Should we do the thing?
Let's do the
I
thing.
I think we
Let's do
should.
the thing.
We will have you introduce yourselves as normal now that the characters have been introduced. You don't have to give. I mean, the characters have these archetype titles. You don't have to give those if you don't want. I thought it was funny that the secret lover introduced herself as secret lover, and I was like, way to keep it secret, secret lover.
Yeah, seriously.
That's my
Baby, whoa, whoa, whoa.
identity.
Kathy could just be someone who loves secrets.
The secret
like-
lover.
I
Yeah.
like to think that while nobody knows that she's the secret lover, everybody
Kind of knows.
I
sort
think-
of suspects that
I
she's
think-
the secret lover.
I think.
Well-
I think looking at your character briefs, a decent number of you know.
Well, and in my discuss, like in my character thing, I'm on his arm when we're at
Mhm.
events.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
it's not that much of a secret.
Yeah.
So you're
it's-
not really that good of a secret.
Or
I
you're
think
maybe
we're
not that
very
good of a
good.
secretary.
Yeah.
Secretary.
All right.
Yep, that's it.
He's more of a public Terry.
Mm. All right, let's do the thing.
Okay.
Welcome back to Total Party Kill. It's me, Tony Sindelar, a dungeon master. He, him, his. Today we are continuing our murder mystery, Murder on the Eberron Express. Let me introduce our players. They will introduce their characters, and then I will give you a quick recap of the action so far. First up, it's Dan Morin.
Hello, I am playing Fontaine, the conductor on the lightning rail. We both use the pronouns he, him, and he is very suspicious of everyone.
Rightfully so. Next up, it's Jason Snell.
Hey, everybody. I'm Kalen Cool Dude. I live in the boathouse usually, but I'm on this train, and my lifelong friend, he's dead. It's very sad.
Next up, Annette Wierstra.
Hi, I'm playing Valente. I really don't know these people, but I'm here. I'm serving drinks to them and just kind of keeping an eye out for everyone.
Also joining us, James Thompson.
I'm playing Athor Ardent, who is a human lecturer who has a really great respect for crime scenes.
That is someone who lectures humans, I assume. Next up, Kathy Campbell.
Hello, I am Kathy, and I play Kaili, who is what did we say? The
Secretary.
secretary to the former Baker gentleman.
Administration.
Yeah. Basically, I'm in charge of his calendar and all of his business works, and clearly, Mrs. Baker doesn't like me very much.
Well, she's a challenging woman. And last but not least, unless I skip somebody, it's Monty Ashley.
It's me, Monty Ashley. He, him. My character, Jonas, is also he, him. He's actually Jonas Baker now. I am the heir to the massive Baker fortune, I assume.
Alleged there.
Alleged
All right.
fortune.
Alleged
In the
fortune.
air. Everybody saw him acknowledge
Yeah.
me just hours ago.
Let us recap what has happened in our first episode on the Eberron Express. All of these strange characters are trapped, locked in the dining car on the 101 Lightning Express Eberron Express rail by the conductor. That is Fontaine. He has keys. He can go wherever he wants. The adventure started with finding the body of one Egan Baker, acclaimed inventor who has run afoul of somebody and been shot dead. Someone on this train car must be responsible, and they won't stop shouting until they figure out who it is. At the end of our last session, the various people were asked to report where they were or where they last saw Egan Baker, and I believe that Jonas, the lost heir, had just accused Evelyn Baker, spouse to Egan Baker, of mixing something mysterious into his drink. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, y'all can see it's right there. This powder, the brandy. She did
Madam, is this true? Would you like to say something in your defense?
Well, I resent the implication that I would. None of you are trained in ventriloquism. I resent the implication that I would do anything to harm my dear husband who has been taken from us far too soon. As I said, I myself used a sleeping draught, and I mixed some into my my dear husband's beverage. Of course, it helps calm his nerves.
Perhaps a little too calm.
It is not funny. She cries.
Well, we have established that Madam Baker was asleep or so she says at the time of the murder. Perhaps the rest of you would care to vouchsafe your locations. When did you last, you lecturer with penchant for disposing of evidence, when did you last interact with Mr. Baker?
I was not disposing of the evidence. I was making us all safer because people get murdered on this train, apparently. Just want to make that clear.
One person!
So far.
Yeah,
In
the
all
evidence
the
not been
years I've went
disposed
through.
of. It's just sitting there next to the train tracks 50 miles behind us.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, people can go back and get it. It's fine. It
Are you
probably
done?
gives off some terrible radiation.
Are
to
you
track.
done dodging the question?
I'm not dodging the question. I haven't encountered Mr. Baker on the train as so far in the journey. He's kept up to his end and I've kept up to my end of the carriages. He was gonna go to this conference as well, I'm sure. And I would have seen him then.
But if I recall, you said he was showing his gun off everywhere, and that implies
Yes,
you saw it.
Not on this train. I didn't think anyone would be foolish enough to bring a gun on a train.
Leopold Henderson V takes his moment to go, how did he get the gun on the train? I thought we were all searched quite thoroughly by you, sir, Mr. Fontaine.
Yes.
Well, I cannot be held responsible for every passenger who manages to sneak a weapon on. We do
I
our
think
best.
Our
It's
safety
literally
is in your
your-
hands, sir.
It's literally your
said-
job to be responsible for us.
Well,
all.
I have
You
attempted
personally
my
guaranteed
best.
our safety when we got on this train. I remember it clearly. You said, if anything happens to any of you, it'll be my fault.
Flashback.
He
That
did
is
say that.
outrageous.
I heard you.
Even worse, he had the bodyguard placed in the hold where he was unable to protect poor Egan.
That is merely a matter of the lightning rail policy. We cannot have war-forged creatures roaming the corridors. They could prevent the
It could prevent murders. Can't have that.
Yes. And what's your policy on, silent killing weapons?
I strictly forbid them. But again, Mr. Baker was a talented artificer. He could have come up with some way to avoid our search mechanisms. I regret it. I regret that he got this weapon on board. But
I'm sure he regrets it as well.
I assure you that it was an isolated incident.
Will it? Yes. You'll forgive me if I don't trust you.
Feeling is mutual.
Did he ever say where he was when the murder was committed? Or did I just miss that?
Well, I was in bed. I was
You
asleep.
say it with such obvious. Can anyone vouch for that?
It doesn't matter.
Yes.
Oh, it doesn't. It does matter.
Yes, I can vouch for him.
Everyone except Evelyn Baker gasps. Evelyn Baker just rolls her eyes.
Perhaps,
Figures.
Madam Jones, you can explain how you could vouch for his whereabouts.
We have been friends for years, and it is a secret. It was a secret from Mr. Baker because he does not like me to associate with Mr. Ardent because of all of the businessy reasons.
Businessy reasons. Yes.
Yes.
Him
Sure.
specifically, as if he knew him specifically, he wants you to avoid him.
Yes. They had a falling out many years ago. Some sort of stolen information.
This is a great alibi, I must say.
But we were in bed together the entire time. So clearly he could not have done it.
That is the part of that we should focus on.
Not the part where you had a falling out with the man who is now lies dead here.
I don't, Mr. Conductor, sir, you are not very familiar with any of us, but if you had really known Mr. Baker, you would know that nobody really liked him.
I
I loved him.
Leopold,
I
was
did
my
know
long
Mr.
lost daddy.
Baker. in
Leopold
fact.
Henderson V says, "I'm ruined," but that's quite true.
I'm
I'm appalled that you all hated
It
him
is
so
true.
much.
I did know Mr. Baker. We encountered each other during the war, and it pains me to speak ill of the dead, but I can concur with your assessment.
So you
I'm
knew him
appalled at all of you.
before the train.
We had encountered each other once, but he is also a frequent passenger on the train.
You know, I had known Egan for a very long time, and he's always been good to me. In some ways, I owe him my life, but I cannot deny that he was selfish, possessive, and greedy to the point of cruelty, and was a difficult person to know.
Say, Miss
Love his boat.
Kylie.
Love the pool house, though.
Miss Kylie, just to check up on this alibi, you're saying you were awake all night, so you can be positive that our lecturer friend was definitely in bed all night long and never left.
Oh, we were
You were
awake all
awake?
night. We were awake
Absolutely.
all night.
Night long.
Just checking.
All night.
Would
All
you like
night.
to?
This is
I
a
would
family,
like-
family podcast.
Tony, I would like to know if that was the truth. The way that guy just said we were awake all night. Is there something I could do, sort of a game rule thing to
Yeah,
check up on that?
Why don't you roll an insight check? James, you want to send me a message about something / maybe roll some kind of something?
Uh,
A truth-telling check?
I'm also going to use my fighter battle master tactical assessment ability to spend a superiority die on this insight check.
Is this what your character does?
I've got
I'm
this
amused
ability. I'm
because-
mostly a
Okay.
fighter.
Fellow battle master, hello.
Hi, how you doing? I thought I noticed something about the way you was standing. Your
Yeah, that's the
combat
stance.
stance.
There's a lot of veterans in Eberron because of all the wars.
A lot of
Yep.
wars. So many wars. So much child death.
25,
mm,
and I will mark off a superiority die.
okay, so I might have fallen asleep a few times, but we were awake pretty much the whole time.
We had a lot of fun.
Can confirm.
That does not preclude shooting someone.
No, some might find that fun.
Yeah.
Evelyn Baker continues to mutter. Despicable.
Well, it seems that we have accounted for the whereabouts of Mr. Ardent and Madam Jones. Jonas, is it? Perhaps? Could you tell us the last time that you saw Mr. Baker?
Last night when I saw his beloved wife, my stepmama, Miss Baker.
Please don't call me Mama. I must ask you again.
Last thing I saw was her dumping some sort of sleeping powder into the drink, and I went to bed. Slept soundly.
It's
all alone.
harmless, really. I take it myself.
I'm
You
sure it
didn't
is.
say anything to stop her or
Nope.
mention anything at the time. Was that in
No.
the dining car or in someplace else?
It was right out here.
And when was that? That was before you went to bed, you say?
Yeah, about say 11:30.
Very, very, very well. But you, Mr. Cool Dude, when
Yeah.
did you last see Mr. Baker?
Just saw him in the corridor when we were passing. I went and visited an old friend for getting caught up. Haven't seen her in years.
And who would that be? Would that person be able to vouch for you?
I gesture coolly at Valente.
Whoa.
Little head,
Roll for coolness.
40 for coolness. Tony.
40,
Uh, at
I
Valente.
raise my drink and just nod.
We nod. Yep.
We did. We had a little catch up. We haven't seen each other in quite some time.
Long time ago.
Long
Lots of
time.
catching up to do.
happen
Before
to know
the
each other?
war.
Before the war.
How do you happen to know each other? It's just
It's a
coincidence that you
long
were on the
war.
train?
It is actually.
It was actually, and
I was surprised to see him.
I've known her even longer than Egan,
Mhm.
and we hadn't seen each other in almost all that time, and so we caught up on all the old times, the good old days before I lived in the pool house.
Before the war.
between the wars, the many wars. Yeah,
And you were catching up. Was that over
on stuff.
the evening?
It's just
Oh,
stuff.
Catching up on stuff. I see. Yes.
Yes.
Catching up
Wait,
on
we-
stuff.
And what time would you say that was?
Tony, what time would we say that was?
Evening.
In the evening, late until night we were chatting.
Do all you people study your watches at every moment of every day?
No, we were. I mean, it was late. It was very late before
We had a lot to
we got
catch
to
up
bed.
on.
I mean, it was. You have those philosophical conversations. What's my place in the world? How has life changed since we were younger? It was lovely, but and drinks were consumed and all of that. But it was very late when I went to bed. I did not get much sleep.
Mhm. I did
That leaves only
after.
You.
Mr.
Just
Henderson.
just to clarify for my purposes at least. You did return to your quarters early in the morning.
In the wee hours.
Kaylin, cool dude.
In the wee hours, yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
What time is it roughly now, Tony? I don't know if the exact hour.
We started at 6 a.m. and it is
okay.
so it's 7 a.m. or
Okay, but so
after,
all right, so based on
7:30.
Okay, and we don't have an exact time of death, but we do. have a
No, we
week.
do not. The time of death is pegged currently at sometime midnight to 5 a.m.
So the wee hours being when he was killed, does not perhaps provide an airtight alibi
No.
for.
Well, okay, so forgive me
you,
for being out of the
conductor?
game here, Tony, but would it be right for me to say, okay, if Annette's character was to one side of the dining car
Yes.
and my character was to the other side of the dining car, would I have to, if I returned to my room, would that mean that I passed through there and saw him alive?
I guess so.
Okay, so
Or
then
not.
we will say, well, no, because then I would have raised the alarm. Well,
Maybe he looks sleeping.
Or
you could judge, but that's going to be my story. I'll say yes.
All right.
Actually, in the wee hours, I passed through, and he was sitting there alone in the dining car, not he dozing. I would say no. I didn't see any bullet holes or anything like that. I think he was
until
just
you put
snoring.
them in his back.
He was snoring, and then I went to bed.
You didn't stop to talk to. I mean, I know you are great friends. You didn't stop
was-
to join him for a drink, or
He was snoring, and
ah.
I've learned not to wake up Egan. He's very cranky.
Well, that does at least agree with. I saw him when I was closing up the galley in the evening, and he did appear to be asleep at that point.
But not dead.
As far as I know, not dead.
What-
No.
The little
What
sleep.
time was that? I imagine as a conductor, you have a more rigorous schedule than the rest of us.
Yes, it was my last patrol of the train before I locked up, which would have put it at roughly. Tony, what time would that have been?
I think midnight.
Yeah, around
Right.
midnight. Yes.
Mine was much later than that, and he was still just sort of snoring away and muttering to himself.
Mr. Henderson, you have not vouchsafed your location.
Oh well, I think. Well, I did have beverages, spirits with my dear friend and close business associate, Mr. Egan Baker. Well into the evening last night, we had good times. Everything was going to turn around for us. Finally, we would make the fortunes to which we were entitled. Everything in Fairhaven was going to be a brand new day for us. And well, yes, when I left him, he was still enjoying a good beverage, but it was far too late for me, and I was getting to sleep.
Did
Tony?
you perhaps have some of that brandy?
I did.
And you did not suffer the effects of a sleeping draught.
Well, I did go to sleep, sir.
Hmm.
Quite
Tony-
soundly, I might add.
Tony, I would like to perceive if this guy really believes that his business affairs connecting to Egan were positive, and that he really, in their conversations, believes that that was the case.
Sure, roll an insight.
That they had a positive insight.
Yeah.
15.
I would say especially you.
I have
know,
awareness of the actual business
yeah.
relationship, so I'm curious if he does.
Leopold Henderson V, and I think there's a lot of talk, and there's a lot of talk throughout the dining car here today on the Eberron Express. There's some people that are being evasive. There are some people that are being effusive. There are very few people that are being the God's honest truth. And let's be clear, there's still a corpse in the corner. So what do you want from them? You know that that Leopold Henderson and Egan Baker had in fact been on the outs for many years over some failed business thing, and that if anything, Leopold did not look kindly on Egan Baker, but somehow had wormed his way into some new business venture related to Fairhaven. But I think you were a little bit surprised when he was invited along on this trip, since they had not had a positive working relationship in quite some time. How's that? That's above and beyond an insight check.
I guess.
We're apparently doing the thing where when you fail an insight check, people then confess.
What I was really getting at is, does he seem to believe that they were tight and that he truly is ruined now, or is that false bluster and that they actually weren't tight and he's trying to pretend that they are? But
I'll say it seems a little insincere.
Okay,
how's that?
So
I roll my eyes a little bit.
As I've mentioned, I'm ruined. I had nothing to gain from this. Clearly, one of you scoundrels has done this horrible deed, and now I am ruined because of it.
It seems many of the passengers on the train had the opportunity, but we do not have yet to establish how they might have come in and done the crime, or whether anybody else might have seen them.
You and Jonas, there, you fought in the war. You've already taken lives. You have it in you to do it again.
I would never shoot a man in the back, sir. Even one that I disliked as much as I might have disliked Mr. Baker. But I would not. I would have challenged him to his face.
Did he forget to tip you or something? How do you have such displeasure for Mr. Baker? You're just a conductor.
Let us say I've seen the unsavory way that he often chooses to do business.
Most suspicious. Leopold Henderson V eyes all of you nervously.
A silence.
Has another
settles on the
drink.
room.
And I say, listen, Henderson, you're not ruined. You know it. He was never going to make a deal with you. Any deal you thought you had with him, he wasn't going to live up to it. He had no interest in ever being in business with you.
Shut up, pool boy. I don't know why he puts up with you and your antics.
Maybe it's my wisdom. Maybe it's my homespun knowledge about things like that he hated you and would never go into business with you.
What do you know of business?
I know it's none of yours.
Harumph!
Why am I Bill Clinton now? I don't know.
Well, you lost the pool boy during the accusation. You have to pull back quickly.
Could be worse. Could be Foghorn Leghorn. Dan.
I sincerely considered it, but decided not to go in that.
And I would throw you off this train so fast. Don't make me pull this train over. That's how trains work. That's not how trains work. So I'll just mention you have done kind of a brief asking everyone for an alibi. No one has cracked under that level of questioning. I don't know what you want to head next. It may occur to you, you are currently locked in the dining car. People do have adjoining cabins in the adjoining carriages. Should somebody wish to, say, search other people's things, though apparently we've established one can just throw evidence out a window. So we'll say that the windows only crack slightly. But they're bullet-sized cracks.
I'm going to once again make a plea to the conductor that since there's been a murder on the train, the best thing that we could do is get the bodyguard, get him out of storage, bring him here, and have him make sure that whoever the murderer is does not escape or kill more people.
It's a persuasive argument. Perhaps what is required to activate the bodyguard?
What is required to activate the bodyguard, Tony? Is he just
Egan
sitting like
Baker has to
twiddling
speak
his
his name.
thumbs?
He is. I think he's deactivated in the cargo hold. I would say that anyone in the Baker family. So I would say that Kaylin or Evelyn Baker would definitely know how to activate and deactivate the Blue Shield, the Baker family Warforged bodyguard.
Can I
But
also
it's even. I would even suggest that possibly Kaylee, Leopold Henderson V, and Jonas the Retainer, the Lost Heir, might be able to do it because they may have seen it happen,
Yeah.
But not done it
Next
themselves. I think there is some questions about, this is effectively a sentient weapon, right? It's a bodyguard. There's probably a question about who would it loyally serve or not.
Yeah.
And, let me say, you just threw a gun out the window, or the bullets to a gun, bringing
And
in
I throw a bodyguard out the window.
the Blue Shield will not fit through the window.
It won't fit through the
and
crack.
Blue Shield is, a walking, talking giant robot that may serve somebody here.
Yeah, it is possible the loyalties of such bodyguard, now that his primary charge is deceased, would be questionable. And as we yet have to establish who amongst us may have committed this crime, that introduces perhaps an element of volatility that is not needed in this situation.
Tony, if I believe that Blue Shield would not have as its primary task to, with its master having been killed, to resolve that. If I worry that it might be
Bloody revenge
undermined
on everyone.
if I worry that it would be undermined and actually could be another weapon, then I'm going to drop it right here.
Okay, I would think that probably it would be safe to it's unknown what happens when a Warforged bonded to someone who is now dead. What they will do probably depends on some very specific programming they were given when they were kind of set up. So it's possible, Kaylin Cool Dude, that you are somewhere in its hierarchy of
Right.
Probably, I think probably the Warforged probably has some version of a robotic laws of robotics, like Last Will and Testament.
I guess that's what I'm asking is, would I know, based on having lived in the house all of this time, that it's a good idea? Because me personally, I'm like, well, we've got a Warforged bodyguard in the hold, and that would be awesome. But Kaylin might be like, oh no, that's too dangerous. So I'm just sort of asking you if
it is introducing a weapon into the situation. Kaylin, there's a possibility that it would totally default to trusting you and protect you. There's a possibility that it could default to protecting Evelyn Baker, and you don't totally know what's up with her. Seems like probably as the people that lived in the house with Egan Baker and Blue Shield, it's one of the two of you. But
maybe the heir,
but you don't
know.
Or maybe the heir if it had been updated right before the trip, but we don't know.
Man,
it's a
They're
little
going
bit
to
like
protect me.
I'm deciding that it's a little bit like there's a secret will has been implemented in its programming.
I'm willing to drop it for now, but I do think we need to keep it as an option later. But Mr. Conductor, do we really think we're just going to sit here in this room with the dead body for the next 5 hours?
Gonna start smelling probably.
Maybe that should go in the luggage compartment.
I'm loath to move it before the authorities have a chance to examine the crime scene. Perhaps I could.
What if we examine it and just together, not one person, but a bunch of us, look at it and collect evidence and then move it?
It seems
The mystery team, let's get it together.
seems as though it'd be most irregular.
Let's Scoopy gang it.
If there are things that you need to retrieve for your cabin, I can escort you individually to your cabins and return with you here. But it seems
that'd be great. I'd like to get something from my cabin, please.
I would like to get dressed.
All right, very well. I will escort Madam Jones first, and then Mr. Jonas. I will return for you, and perhaps we can.
Mr. Baker, please. I am the heir of the Baker,
Mr. Baker
weapons manufacturing concern.
I'm just going to tag along with Kaylee.
Perhaps you could wait here until I return.
How do we know they're not going to go and get weapons from their
I will
cabins?
personally keep an eye on her.
Yeah, I mean, you are taking
so
her
far as propriety
Keep an eye on her.
You are taking her to my cabin, so really, I feel I should be there. In case any evidence is being planted by you.
So I think Justin. Let me see.
Wait,
here.
by your own footing?
No, by you, by
Yeah.
We'll be able to see me.
Well, I feel, nobody should be left alone.
What if we send a neutral third party and not you
Yeah,
to keep an eye on the two of them
I
to make
would
sure they don't get together any shenanigans?
definitely feel safer if I was not alone with this strange person that
Yeah.
I
This is
know
kind of-
doesn't like Mr. Baker.
Yeah.
This
Let's
is what
send-
I'm
let's
thinking.
send let's send Evelyn with her. See how she likes that.
Oh God. Anyone but
Or
Mr. Baker,
I could
please.
go.
I may not survive
Vero,
with both the conductor and Mrs. Baker.
Madam Leodon, then perhaps the
I'll
three
go.
of us. Yes.
That's
All right.
acceptable.
I
So
got your back.
let me just clarify. The conductor Fontaine, Valente Leopold, is that how your last name is?
Leodon.
Leodon,
Leodon.
and Kaylee are going to head to which cabin?
Wherever Kaylee's clothes are.
That would be my
Okay.
cabin.
Okay, to the scholars cabin. Okay.
Yes.
I think we basically established one side of the train. I don't want to get stuck up on train geography, but I imagine basically one first class car had the Baker family retinue with a cabin for Evelyn and Egan Baker, a cabin for Jonas, a cabin for Kaylee that was not being used a lot, and a cabin for Leopold. And then at the other side of the train, it was separately booked a cabin for Valente, a cabin for Athor, and probably some empty cabins. Correct? Does that seem reasonable?
Yeah.
Did I
Yeah.
forget anyone?
Yeah, me, but I was
Oh.
probably with Egan.
Okay. Yeah, you're in there too. So
I have an inside cabin. It's not the best,
Yeah.
but it's
yeah,
fine.
it's the pool house of cabins. All
It
right.
is.
Let us not
Little,
let us not get too
window
hung up on
attachment.
on maps. So you are going to make your way to the scholars cabin. The scholar is going to stay back. So we are splitting the party. Dun, dun,
Dun
dun.
dun dun.
Done.
So I'm just going to move. Nope, wrong person. Kaylee, Valente, and Fontaine are going to go head off that way. All right, let's start with the people heading leave the train. So that leaves Athor, Jonas, and Caitlin, as well as NPCs Leopold and Evelyn back in the dining car. So we may have some parallel discussions and investigations happening. Let us start with Fontaine, Kaylee, and Valente heading to the scholars' cabin. So, conductor, you have keys, so you unlock the kind of entryway. There is these kind of like articulated tubes that connect the carriages of the lightning rail, and you move from one to the other. Do you lock the door behind you?
Yes.
That's an awfully specific question that Tony asked.
That's no reason.
No reason. All right, so you make your way. You are in a fancy cabin. Fancy carriage. There are a series of cabins all along one wall. Narrow little passageways, little light fixtures that kind of rattle as the lightning rail makes its way toward Fairhaven. And so you make your way to the scholars' cabin. All right. You make your way there. And we'll say, there's the cabins have little sliding doors into the hallway. And the conductor kind of just stand there as as Kaylee goes in.
I mean, it's complicated. I
Yeah.
think
I insist on watching you dress, man.
No,
I can go in
Madam
and
Leodon, perhaps if you would be kind enough to.
yeah, I'll
escort.
go in.
And the cabins are quite small, right?
And
Yeah.
while I'm in there, can I do an investigation check and just sort of like not really poke around too much, but
But
kind of
poke around with your eyes.
yes, like not so subtly
eye poke.
be.
All right.
A little
And
less than a glare.
I got a 26.
Wow. All right. So you are glancing around the scholar's cabin, Valente. It's similar to the cabin that you are staying in. It's small, but nice, well appointed. This particular cabin seems to be jammed with just lots of books, far more books than you think anyone would need for a 3-day trip. But who are you to judge?
Mhm. I'm
Writing
judging.
materials, scrolls with ink, and it's a very academic, also a little bit sly. You do notice a very ornate looking earring kind of perched on one of the pillows. And, Kaylee's clothes appear to be here as well.
I pick up the earring and ask Kaylee, is this yours?
Kaylee, you are wearing the other earring already.
Mhm. You might want
I'm
that.
so glad that you found it. Thank you so much.
No problem.
These were my mother's.
Yep.
Kaylee's gonna get dressed.
All right.
I politely avert my eyes.
Meanwhile, back in the dining car, Leopold Henderson V, Athor Ardent, Jonas Baker, sort of, the corpse of Egan Baker, Evelyn Baker, and Kaylin Coldude are sitting around, eyeing each other nervously, engaged in heated discourse. What's
I
happening?
walk over to Evelyn and I say to her, I know that Egan was not a good husband, but I am shocked that that young lady would on this very train be spending time with this other artificer. I'm shocked. I'm shocked by that. That is I'm trying to get a reaction from her if she knows anything about the relationship with old Arthur, who's over across the way from Evelyn.
Well, Kaylin, you would suggest that this is the first you're learning of this? That you haven't been covering up for Egan?
Well, no, I
That
mean,
you didn't know all about this?
We both know that Egan has been a bad husband for many years. I'm surprised that he would make such a bad decision involving somebody who would betray him to, or perhaps that is humorous to you, that he himself was being betrayed.
Well, you know how things are in Sharn. We all live complicated lives. We all made choices before and after the war. Who are you to judge? You live in our pool house.
I have made bad choices myself. You may even, I don't know if he mentioned that, but I mean, there's a reason I'm in the pool house, and it's not good choices. What do you know of this scholar, though? Is he truly? I've never heard of him or seen him before. Is he truly a rival or a friend?
He fancies himself a rival, but he's just a lecturer at the lesser university. To compare him to Egan would be an insult.
They should not have named themselves the lesser university, by the way. That was a little on the nose.
They were founded by Sir George Lesser.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, we're not here to judge academic reputations, are we?
Not at the moment.
Am I listening to this conversation, or
No, I'm doing that without you hearing.
Yeah, I don't think
Okay.
We're in the
Just that's
background, and
we're gesturing at you a little bit, but you
Yeah.
don't know what we're saying.
we're in the
Okay.
background at the bar, and I'm just boring your ear off with war stories.
Mhm.
Okay, fair enough. I'll
Um,
move to the bar. That's a good idea, actually. I need it.
Evelyn kind of grabs your arm, Kaylin, and says, "Kaylin, can I truly trust you?"
You know, there's been no one more loyal to both your husband and to your household for the longest time than me.
I knew about Kaylee. Everyone knows about Kaylee, and I put the draught in his drink because I didn't want Egan to go to her room tonight.
Well, I guess that worked.
I would
And-
never kill him.
And it turns out that she wasn't there.
I suppose so.
But I know you wouldn't kill him, despite you would have done it long ago.
I never.
The best alibi.
She kind of crosses her arms and turns away from you.
Yeah, that's fine. Cool.
All right.
Cool.
Meanwhile, over at the other end of the dining car, Jonas is telling some more stories to Athor.
There was enemies everywhere. They attacked us. Fireballs, dragons, wyverns.
He's a fighter, not a bard,
Amaleks.
people.
I was the last one of my platoon there. my sword had been knocked out of my hand. So I stood there and I raised my fist. I said, "Come on, I'll defend my whole country against you monsters."
I can just look. I can just say you're definitely Egan's son.
Would you be willing to testify to that? Like maybe some sort of expert testimony?
Well, based on the sort of long rambling stories about the war, there's a clear family resemblance. I will stand up in the court of law and say it.
Fantastic.
All right.
I was in the Battle of
We'll
Eberron.
say
Then we fade away.
I pour another drink.
we'll say around this time, Valenthe, Fontaine, and Kaylee return to the dining car.
Okay.
Okay.
On the way
we'll-
back, I would like to have a conversation with Madame Leodon
All
Okay.
right, go for it.
about. So you were not acquainted with Mr. Baker then?
No, I knew him when Kaylin and him start working together, but that was when I met him. I just knew Kaylin first.
Did you say how you and Kaylin knew each other?
No, but we knew each other,
Mm,
if you know what I
see.
mean.
I see.
School together,
and-
totally is what that is.
It's totally what that means. Wink.
And his relationship with Mr. I realize he and Mr. Baker were friends, but did he ever mention?
Wink means it's truthful. The wink means it's truthful.
Did he ever express any dissatisfaction with Mr. Baker, or did he and Mr. Baker ever come to disagreements?
No, if anything, he's probably the person who likes Mr. Baker more than the rest of us. I don't know Egan well, but he was kind of a jerk.
Hmm. And what did you say what your line of work was?
Yeah, my family has a theater company, a traveling theater company.
Hmm. Indeed.
Yeah, and I run the theater company and teach a lot of new actors.
Very interesting.
Mhm.
Perhaps then it seems as though Mr. Coldu did not have much to gain from Mr. Baker's demise, especially
No.
as it seems he may now have no place to live.
Certainly won't be with me. I'll tell you.
I can see why. Okay, that's good.
You
All
walk
right,
into the
and so
car
you-
laughing.
Yeah, just one of those happy time murders. Yep.
Conductor mysteries in color.
So you all regroup in the dining car. Once again, I'll assume Fontaine, you locked the dining car behind you.
Indeed.
Just so we're clear, it's very conspicuous. He's got basically a small set of keys. It's not one of those giant maintainer key rings. He's
It's-
just got a couple, but they're
It's
on a
like
chain.
a chain, yeah.
On a
exactly.
chain, but were he to be murdered, it would be real easy to unlock that door.
But a fancy train
I'm-
conductor chain.
That's just Dan. That is a normal way of describing keys. Don't give me that look.
Tony, an important question. Is there
Yeah.
a tap dancing cat?
Reference not acknowledged.
Okay.
So-
Reference rejected.
Wow. So I mean, all right. So we are back in the dining car. Kaylee is changed her garb. Valente has had a chance to poke around the scholar's cabin, unbeknownst to the scholar, I guess directly, though perhaps he could infer that. What's next, people?
I'd like to stop by my car, if that's okay.
Very well. Perhaps someone else. Mr. Cold Dude, would you mind accompanying us, perhaps?
Of course.
All right. Off we go.
All right. The three of you head to the front, or I guess to the back of the train. Let me just move you over here. To go and go to those first class cabins. So Jonas, Fontaine, and Kaylin Coldude have head off, leaving Valente, Evelyn Baker, Kaylee, Artur, and Leopold Henderson V in the dining car. So let us go with the people leaving first. You head into the final rear car of the train. Continues to rattle. It's similar layout to the other first class cabin car that you were in.
So, Caitlin, I expect you're going to want a place to stay.
I guess I'm going to have to find one.
Well, if I am the master of the Baker household, I'd be happy to continue your previous arrangement of you staying in the pool house and keeping your mouth shut about any things you see.
I have gotten very good at that. In fact, I never told anybody about you. I remember
Well,
when you were just
I
a
do
little
appreciate
baby.
that.
You were such an adorable baby. It was a shame that you were sent away.
See, that's what I always thought. I think we can definitely come to an arrangement. It's good talking to you. Oh, here's my cabin.
May I ask, Mr. Baker, before you mention your cabin, what precisely you're retrieving?
Oh, I've got a deck of playing cards that's very important to me, and I've seen how this sort of thing goes. When the police show up, they always like to take away anyone who they perceive as being of low birth. And of course, I'm not of low birth, but my rough-hewn military manners sometimes mislead the authorities. And when they take me away, I just like to have my lucky deck of playing cards with me so I can maybe make a buck or two while in stir.
Surely you have no objection to a brief examination of those cards, then?
Oh, no, not at all.
Very well. I asked you merely leave the door open while you retrieve them so that we may observe.
Oh, no problem. I walk into my cabin and close the door.
Oh, I do not let him close the door. I stick my foot in the door.
All right.
I might lose that foot.
I'm going to help the conductor have the door be open.
All right.
Okay.
Jonas, is this the hill you want to die on?
Nope. Oh, sorry about that. That was just a reflex. I just
Of course. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Oh,
Yes,
here they
they've all
are.
been there.
I'm going to do that. I want to do that eye poking, whatever it is thing.
All right.
where you
I'll
look.
tell you this it's a lot briefer than the time for Kaylee to gather her things. But give me a quick perception check, Kaylin.
I'm also going to make a perception check.
Yeah, do it.
And
Mine's terrible.
D4 to
It's
that.
6.
Hold on. I've got a D4 bonus.
Hey, it looks just like my cabin.
16.
It does, in fact, look just like your cabin, Kaylin. Fontaine, you're looking around. It is relatively Spartan. He grabbed the deck of cards from there on the little, kind of shelf next to his bunk. It does look like you catch just a glint of something shiny under an old shirt, kind of tucked over in the corner. That does look kind of conspicuous. There's not really a lot of places to hide stuff in a in these little cabins that catches your eye, but Jonas did not make any move toward that or even seem to notice that. He went, grabbed the deck of cards, and has returned to the door.
Got my cards. Want to look at them?
Yeah, I'll take a quick examination to make sure they're just normal playing cards.
Is this going to turn into a magic trick?
Is this your card? Is this your card? Is this your card? Fontaine, they seem to be a normal deck of playing cards. I'm not sure what you could possibly have expected.
I don't know, like a deck of many things, deck of illusions. There's lots of magical decks of cards.
Yep. It is. I assume, Jonas, it's just a deck of cards? Question mark?
Just your average deck of cards, such as a military man might carry around for some
certainly
innocent pocket-based fun.
And in fact,
I have one of these myself from the war. You never knew when you might be staying up all night.
In fact, Fontaine, you would have, I believe you have a wand of detect magic.
Technically, I think it's in my cabin.
I could also do a detect magic.
But I mean, I think that was part. You would have searched people as they were boarded.
Yeah.
So we'll say that you knew he had a deck of cards in his pocket, and it was mundane. So who knows? Maybe it's marked in some way, but it is not. It is a mundane.
Sure.
Marked isn't set up for but it is not a magical object. It's a deck of cards. Each of the face cards has the leader of one of the factions that Jonas fought against.
I am going to gesture back at that shiny thing that I noticed and say, may I ask, Mr. Baker, what is that over there?
None of your business.
And while they're doing that, I am going to cast detect magic.
Okay, that is, I believe, detecting magic is I don't know if you can do that in an
almost every
inconspicuous way.
spell requires a verbal component.
Yeah.
Unless you have a special skill that lets you cast it without one.
Oh, it is verbal, But
Yeah,
they're
so
but
you-
I'm hoping to while they're distracted because they're talking about the shiny thing.
We're in
Yeah,
a
all
pretty
right.
small cabin, I was told.
Yeah.
I'm out in the hallway. What are you talking
Yeah.
about?
You know,
Poking our heads around.
In
All
fact,
right.
if you want, because it's a 30-foot range. So if you want, while they're jousting, I turn around and take a step the other way so they won't hear me
give me
utter my
uh,
incantation.
Here's what we're gonna do. You both are gonna roll perception. Give me I don't know. I think it's deception probably. There's verbal and somatic components to it, so you're gonna attempt to do it subtly. But why don't you both roll with disadvantage because you're distracting each other unintentionally?
What am I rolling?
Deception.
Okay. I got an 8 on my perception, so I'm guessing that did not. Too caught
I
up with
got
the
a
giant.
13.
17.
All right.
That's with disadvantage.
All right, you know, Kalen Cool Dude often says stuff in a low voice to himself that other people let pass.
I do.
And so Kalen Cool Dude
all right.
used one of the first magic spells. Still going a little bit Clinton. Has cast one of the first magic spells of this adventure. What will he detect with his detect magic spell? Presumably magic or not.
Or
Is
not
there
magic.
or is there a magical item inside Jonas's cabin? The lost heir to the Baker fortune. Is it some kind of weapon? Is it some kind of something more mundane, something inauspicious?
Stolen silverware.
Stolen silver, magic stolen silverware.
It's a magic crime solver device.
Is this where we finally pry the lid off of this murder mystery and find out that it has been Jonas all along? Or is it, in fact, Kalen Cool Dude looking to throw suspicion upon another? What about all those jerks back in the dining car? That's right, I speak of Evelyn Baker, Valente, Leodon, Kaylee, Arthur Ardent, and who can forget Leopold Henderson V. No doubt one of them is the murderer, but who? For answers to questions such as these, we're probably not going to answer it next episode, but let's keep working on it next time on Total Party Kill. The end. Wow,
This is
murder
very
mysteries take a
fun.
while to solve.
It's challenging. It is challenging to know where the bounds are between, like, well, I'm not gonna just like barge in everyone's cabin, but you gotta figure stuff out.
Gotta figure stuff out. You know, remember, you know, in addition to probably you want to know who the murderer is for justice, you also probably want to know who the murderer is so you don't get murdered next.
Yeah.
Or so we don't get accused of murder.
Or so you don't get accused of murder and spaced.
Right.
We're doing the Among Us
Yeah.
mode of, well, clearly he didn't kill me
Yeah, but
while we
you-
were together in the
Right.
hallway.
Usually there would have been a second murder by now.
It's true.
It
I need to
happened.
play that. I haven't played
Um,
it yet.
Live stream / bootleg. I think we're going to take another short break and then come back for our final hour or so of D&D of the afternoon. Players, does that sound reasonable? We're moving along?
Yep.
Yep,
all right.
It's fun.
All right, let's take a break and return soon.
Yes, Andrew, everyone died.
Hello.
Hello.
Well, I don't think anybody suspects us.
Hello.
No.
I had some grapes. That was about as much snacks that I got.
Nice. This is kind of my lunch because I ate a late breakfast. But, you know, it's 1:20 here. So like prime lunchtime.
Well, I apologize for being partially the reason why things are scheduled at such awkward times.
It's okay. It's worth it, James.
For me too. Should I answer you in the Slack, Tony, or should I just say it out loud? Tony has asked us if everyone's getting a chance to do what they want.
You know, for example, if you're like, I want to do this secret thing, that's going to go over to the live stream. So,
Well, I've got nothing to hide, so
yeah.
That's what they all say when they have something to hide.
that's what the person who actually did it says.
No, the person who did it says, I did it.
Well, you just said it. Everybody hit.
Yep.
I
All
heard
right.
Dan say he did it.
We have proof.
Every murderer makes one fatal mistake. This one confessed.
We just chop the audio of Dan saying, I did it, and then we can splice that into the episode.
Who are you
wherever.
trying to convince with your audio splicing?
He's an artificer. He says weird things.
Yes.
De-Hawaii'd myself because it's cold out here and I need to put on a hoodie.
We apparently have snow coming from the sky.
Oh wow, it's sprinkling here.
It's glad it's coming from the sky, not coming from the ground. That's really bad. Ground snow.
It
You
is
don't want that
true.
ground snow. That's rough stuff. It's very cold here.
It's not that bad here. But maybe it's just because I'm the ice queen and I'm used to it.
It's also maybe what is the qualification for not that bad in Edmonton?
It's like, is it above zero?
No, no. I
Is
don't
it
know. It probably is like -10.
Okay, that would have been my threshold
looking
for. I've done -15 in Glasgow once, and that was not pleasant.
Oh,
2
right now it is.
degrees
Oh,
there.
it's -14.
It was,
So that's getting a little bit
Yeah, it's a
colder.
lot chillier than it is here. So Edmonton's
yeah.
a lot colder than here.
It was
so
below
it's just
0
I'm the,
centigrade
literally
here.
the ice queen.
Yeah, I went for a
Really?
walk this morning and it was awful.
If it was -20, then I'm gonna start getting really grumpy.
Yeah, you probably have the right clothes for this sort of thing, whereas
Yeah.
in Glasgow we don't.
It's true. Also, it's a dry cold because I'm in the middle of the prairies.
Right.
You,
By the way,
you people in your dry cold. There's no bigger lie in the Midwest than dry cold. It's all cold.
I mean, if it's -20,
Yeah,
is
it's
there
just
much
really
wet?
No one has time for that. Let's
Ever
do
had a
Snell talk.
Moist cold. Yeah.
I'm on a train. I can't complain.
Welcome to the train.
I need a backdrop.
I just want to say that I wrote a 450 word character background for this one shot.
I have extensive
Annette
notes as
and
well.
I spent a long time
Awesome.
Oh.
explaining our backstory to
We
each other.
do.
Yeah.
Good.
I've only got a couple hundred.
I have a 490 word. I just checked.
Nice.
Excellent. Excellent.
I need to-
Nerds.
Hold on. I need to-
Should we? I've switched from seltzer to Dr. Pepper, so
Ooh.
Nice.
It's
things are getting
serious
real.
now?
Well,
I got
or
some lunch.
caffeinated.
Mine is only 200 words even.
I lost track. When did we start the break, or everyone came back? So does that
He is
mean-
a conductor.
He ride train. Train have wheels go round and round.
I
Nice
think
hat, great mustache.
thanks, Filge.
It's more of a
Tap
line
dancing,
shield
no.
no, please.
Oh. Should we do some more D&D?
We walked past a bush that had a bunch of bees buzzing in it the other day, and I said, "Hello, bees." And I thought, wait a second,
That's dangerous.
that's
Hello, bee.
dragon bees. Hello, bees.
Listeners, how's it going? You doing okay? Just me, Tony Sindlar, checking in on
What
you.
if it turns out the listeners were the murderers all along?
They have been sending me.
Oh.
They have been sending me some secret messages. When I close my eyes, I see their words. That's a thing.
Oh,
right?
good. Listeners, write down who you think did it.
Yes. In
Oh,
a sealed
yeah.
envelope.
I see.
Oh
they want
man,
us
yeah.
all to
Put that
die.
in the chat. Everybody,
Yeah.
let's do it before we
Yeah,
start
do-
the next
do
episode.
your-
No,
do
I
theories.
don't. Well, do you want them in the chat? I think you all shouldn't look at them. Just tell Tony.
Oh, we should.
No, I don't
just
know.
tell Tony.
I mean, they
I
don't
want them written
know. Do
down
they
where
have
we
any
can
more
see them
information
after.
than we have?
All right.
No, I
No.
don't think they do.
No.
I'm
All right,
curious.
listeners.
I
to
really
see-
don't.
I'm curious to
You
see
gotta
if
pick
I've
someone.
educated myself
You've
here.
had 3
I mean, don't-
hours.
Perhaps don't
with a bunch of weirdos.
Explain your reasoning, because that might give
Yes.
us clues of things that we might not have thought of. But like, you
Right.
can just throw a name
Yeah.
out there. Yeah.
Yeah, give us a name. No rationales. This is like the American justice system. Just
And whoever
Uh,
whoever gets the most votes gets thrown out the airlock.
mhm. Oh no! Someone saw me
That's
venting.
that's the next one to get murdered.
Other vents in this train?
Mhm.
Yes, many events.
Ah,
Listener Will Wagner says it was totally me. He is sus. So
Yep.
All right. So our listeners are really buying into this. I forget sometimes that they are smart, distinct. That people that don't put up with their shenanigans.
I will say that in movies
Well
about
played,
trains,
listeners.
people always end up on top of the train for some reason.
Oh,
Yeah.
let's go
Ooh,
there.
we
Rarely,
definitely-
only
that's-
occasionally
Hashtag
underneath.
goals.
Yeah.
Is this possible?
I mean, this is Dungeons and Dragons. We created ourselves, but also it's probably very dangerous up there. Surely only a murderer would want to go up there.
Oh no, we wouldn't want that.
Someone trying to catch a murderer.
Avoid danger. That's my motto.
I feel this is exciting.
Mm. Just a little train surfing to do between murders, no big deal.
Oh, if it's train surfing, it's going to be Kaylin. Everyone knows that.
If it was
All right.
skiing,
Should we do the thing?
let's do it.
Let's do the thing. Once again, I will have you all introduce yourselves, and we'll do that. It's like a real episode of TNG. That is a different thing I watch.
Tuesday Night
It's always,
Titans,
it's
the
always,
old WWF show.
it's really great how my brain just totally continues to be maintain its quality throughout that into that third hour of Dungeons and Dragons. We are verging into Tuesday night levels of Tony here. It's not good. All right.
Or it's great.
Let's agree that it's somewhere in between. All right, we're gonna do the thing. Everyone's recording. Everyone is doing the thing. Jason's eating a snack or looking at something. What's he doing? Explain yourself, sir.
I'm having
snacking.
it's lunch. It's a
All right.
it's a leftover lunch. There's rice and
Rice
and
is
meatballs
that-
and carrots.
All right.
Nice.
Did
That's
you bring
lucky.
enough for everybody?
Yeah. I'll
I
take
did. Come on
plate.
over.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh.
Lovely. All right, let's do the thing. Welcome back to Total Party Kill. It's me, Tony Sindlar, a dungeon master. I use the pronouns he, him, his. Today, we are continuing our murder mystery. That's right, murder on the Eberron Express. A tale of intrigue. Technically a Dungeons and Dragons game, but very light on the Dungeons and the Dragons. Allow me to introduce our spurious players, and then I will do a reminder of the action so far. Let me work kind of left to right how I see them in the train. First up, it's Monty Ashley.
Hi, I'm Monty Ashley. He, him. I am playing Jonas Baker, the definitely 100% legitimate newly found heir of Egan Baker, who has been found killed on this train.
Next up, Dan Morin.
Hello, I am Dan Morin. I am playing Fontaine, the conductor on the Lightning Rail. We both use he, him pronouns, and I knew the deceased. I did not like him, but I will stop at nothing to find his murderer.
Also joining us, Jason Snell.
Hi there. I am playing Kalen Cool Dude, and he lives in the boathouse at the
That's
estate.
not how I remember it.
Sometimes
Oh,
a
sorry.
pool house, sometimes a boathouse. It was a
Pool house.
very
How big is this
it's a
pool?
very nice
How big is the
it's a very
pool?
nice it's a
Yep,
very
it's a-
nice outbuilding that is both boat and pool house.
One
It's a
side is the
pool
pool, one
pool
side
that's
is
so big that
the
has a boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm just
It's a
the
pool house with a
irregularities
boat.
in your story
Kalen-
are not suspicious
Kalen-
at all.
Has known the deceased for a very long time and is out there in the pool house, and nobody really knows why he has been freeloading this long, but he has been.
Mm. All right, over in the dining car, it's Annette Wierstra. Hi, Annette.
Hello, I am Annette. I am playing Valente. We are both she, her. And I am sort of not outside of this family group, but I did know that dude in the boathouse some time ago.
Just a passenger on the lightning rail. Nobody
Mhm.
to focus any suspicion on whatsoever. Also joining us, it's Kathy Campbell. Hi, Kathy.
Hello, I play Kaili Jones, and we both use she, her. I am the secretary for the deceased part-time lover, mistress. And I am now dressed and very thankful to have clothes on.
And last but not least, it's one James Thompson.
I'm James Thompson. I am playing Athor Ardent, and he is an artificer in academia who is ardent by name and ardent by nature, and has a solid alibi.
Hey. Also on the train, two non-player characters that I will voice as needed. The wife of one Egan Baker, that being Evelyn Baker, and business partner Leopold Henderson V. So what has happened so far on our murder on the Eberron Express? Well, we found a murder. Egan Baker, inventor and artificer, was found shot twice and left to die in the dining car. He then died, just to make that really clear. Many twice,
And then
But
slightly
who's to
above the
blame?
heart.
Many actions have been
Train's a bad name. Sorry.
conduct yourself with dignity, sir. Many accusations have been lobbed around. People have various alibis for where they were and where they were not at the time, the supposed time of Egan Baker's death. Several passengers have been escorted back to their cabins to retrieve various items. Since so far, you have spent much of the trip cloistered in the dining car under lock and key at the behest of the conductor, Fontaine. I believe that just over 2 hours have passed. Fairhaven is perhaps about 3 hours away, at which point probably all of you will be taken in for questioning and, just given the once-over by the very, very thorough law enforcement agents in Fairhaven. And, even if you are not a murderer, you're probably not looking forward to that. So the last thing that happened is the conductor Fontaine and loyal retainer Kalen Cooldude escorted lost heir Jonas, who has styled himself Jonas Baker, to his cabin so he could retrieve a deck of playing cards. There's a bit of a scuffle, a verbal scuffle at least. Kalen Cooldude successfully backed away and cast a detect magic spell on Jonas's cabin. But before we find the results of that spell, let's go back to the dining car, see how things are doing there. So the dining car, Evelyn Baker, one end of the car, Leopold Henderson V, other end of the car, Egan Baker's corpse in the middle. Kaylee and Artur seem to be hanging out at the bar with Leopold. Valente, what are you up to?
I think I'm gonna, since no one's stopping me, I want to do kind of an investigation around the table and see if I can see anything.
All right. You are, you're still, no one is stopping you, but certainly your actions would probably not go unobserved at the very least. So
totally.
you're looking around. You're looking with your eyes, right? Not with your hands.
I rolled a 20, which gives me a 26 investigation.
All right.
Again.
Yeah, you're surveying, and at this point, the crime scene has been pretty looked over by several of you. Different people have concluded slightly different levels of detail about things, but you are looking it over, and it does seem, I don't think there's anything too exciting to learn at this point. Bullet holes in the table, 2 bullets lodged in it. The gun, I believe, is still just sitting on the table, though the remaining cartridges were tossed out the window by Artur. There is the kind of knocked over decanter of brandy, which does seem to have some kind of swirling residue in it. Though I believe at this point Evelyn has come clean that she added a sleeping draught to the brandy. So there's not much to be learned there. It does appear, as far as you can tell, Baker was shot twice in the back while he was already slumped over the table, whether through the effects of the sleeping draught or just drinking a lot of brandy. And there does not seem to be any other evidence that has been left behind.
Okay.
Does seem there is I'll tell you this because you rolled an amazing roll. There was a decent amount of blood. It's a small train. Probably whoever shot him got some blood on them. How's that?
I'm wearing white. I'd like to swirl, look down. I have no blood on me.
You've walked back and forth in this crime scene for the last 2 hours.
I wear a lot of white. I'm very good at keeping clean. I go over to the bar and ask Kay Ely and the Arc Scholar, Arthur, how'd you guys meet?
So, how'd you meet?
It's a funny
That
story.
was not the question that I was prepared to answer.
What? No blood. I mean,
We met after after Mr. Baker was extremely rude to Mr. Ardent at a conference.
Yeah. And basically, I was kind of humiliated by Egan back then. But, the best way to deal with these things is to move on with your life and hook up with his mistress. And
I don't disagree.
And yeah, I'm happy.
Bye.
Okay. I tell you that I have looked over there. I'm taking a look. I don't trust all these people to do a good job of investigating, but there really doesn't seem to be any extra things lying around. Unless we start digging into the pockets or the body, which I'm not going to do. That's a step too far.
I mean, before the rest of them get back, are we suspecting anyone in particular who's perhaps left the cabin?
So many people disliked him. Everyone's a suspect, basically. I don't know anyone.
I mean, the person who's got the most to gain is Jonas.
Yes. Especially because the will was changed and he's now officially the heir.
I don't know. I don't really know these people.
So you keep telling us frequently.
I'm ruined.
I pour Leopold another scotch because that's what he's drinking, and he's getting slide that over there.
I'm ruined.
Is there any food back there? I
haven't peanuts.
Yeah, there's the Eberron equivalent of steampunk pretzels, which are basically pretzels.
Oh man, steampunk pretzels in the shape of a gear. Awesome.
Yeah.
I'll break them out and put some bowls out.
I want steampunk pretzels now. The meat. I want them.
How's everything space money and stuff? This is steampunk.
Yeah,
they're the same.
They're the same, but just when you open the package, it goes doo doo.
A puff of steam comes out. A puff of steam comes out on you.
What a cool souvenir!
Isn't it great that the Dungeon Master has some role in this adventure? All right,
I opened 3 bags.
All right, there's nice little silver ramekins to pour the pretzels into.
Very fancy.
Classy.
They're not bronze. I would think they would be bronze.
Well,
I'm just back behind the bar again because
this is
safe.
While this is going on, I'll sort of turn to Kylie and say, "Are you okay? Are you doing okay?"
There's a dead body in this car.
Yeah. And we both knew him.
Yeah. Some of us better than others, but I don't know how to handle death. I haven't been around a lot of it, let alone so close. He's right there. He's not looking at me, right?
I
He's
think
got
the
a,
tablecloth
he's got a
is open.
sheet over him.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
He's
he
dead.
waits.
He's not looking at anyone.
I just feel him looking at all of us somehow at the same time.
I could try putting him out a window, but I don't think it would go over well.
Evelyn Baker is kind of, I guess, is in the next stage of shock and is just pacing back and forth at the back of the car.
Maybe we should give her a
Listeners,
drink
the
too.
icon is moving up and down.
Meanwhile, back in the first class carriages, Kaylin Colddude, you have cast detect magic. Could you read us the text of detect magic and tell us what it does and doesn't get as Conductor and Fontaine and Lost Air Jonas are standing in the doorway of Jonas's cabin?
So for the next up to 10 minutes, I can sense the presence of magic within 30 feet of me. If I sense magic in this way, I can use my action to see a faint aura around any visible creature or object in the area that bears magic and learn its school of magic.
Okay. Jonas, as Kaylin Colddude, perhaps unknown to you, casts his detect magic, and his kind of aura extends into your cabin. Does he find anything magical on you, on your person, or in your cabin?
No.
Thank you. You're welcome, Jason.
Okay. I'm gonna keep that going for our return to the dining car. So
yeah,
that
surely my cabin
Okay.
is not the only one within 30 feet of him.
I'm just as we're walking back. Let me know if I detect anything because I can keep this going for up to 10 minutes.
Could people just take a second and message me if I guess people who are in the first class, people whose cabin is in this carriage, which would be the Baker family, I guess your own cabin, Kaylin. I guess really, and Kaylee, if you had any magical items that would theoretically be picked up by this, do they have to be within view, Kaylin, or no? Just
No,
within 30
the
feet?
spell can penetrate most barriers. It would take an inch of metal or a thin sheet of lead or 3 feet of wood. So it seems
Okay.
unlikely that
I think nothing. Yeah, so I think
nothing
you
is going to withstand
No,
this.
I think you effectively have full magical view of the of this carriage.
Yeah.
Allow me to just poke through what do people have in their cabins for you as I scroll through a PDF.
Scrolling through a PDF. It's a fun thing to do.
Do.
Enough on PDFs.
Was one
Yeah.
earring in my carriage, which has been retrieved. So if
Not
it was
magical.
magic,
Not magical. Well, I guess we don't know. Let's see here.
Can be a mighty effort to scroll through
All
a
right.
PDF.
You pass by your own cabin. You don't have to tell us if you picked up anything magical there. You pass by Leopold Henderson V's cabin. Nothing exciting in there. You pass by Kaylee's cabin. Nothing in there. And what's left? Let's see. That would be the Baker family cabin. Let me just check if they've got anything. Yep, nothing in there. Seems like there is no magical items in
magic.
this carriage. You know, it would probably not be uncommon, especially since Egan Baker himself is an artificer, and you apparently at least there's at least one other artificer on this train. People may have various magical objects that they carry with them as people of wealth and power, but probably they're all packed in the cargo area.
All right.
Any magic in the train itself?
I think the train is itself, steampunk magic. So yeah.
So I can sense the magic of the rails or
Yes.
the whatever.
Mhm.
Yeah, got it.
And the rhythm of the wheels. That
The magic of the rails coming soon
romance.
from Amtrak.
Also, I believe I'm fighting or arguing with Fontaine about whether
A shiny non-magical thing.
I inquired about a shiny thing that was in there, and he
Yeah.
told me none of my business.
You left it at that?
Very well. I suppose this is your private belongings, but if you have something to hide, that does seem to make you suspicious. Perhaps
right.
if you are.
Are we done here then?
I suppose so. I'll be forced to note this.
Do so. Now, all right, please. I will lock my cabin again as we all
Okay.
leave together.
Back to the
All right.
dining car.
All right, and so you return to the dining car. The whole group is reassembled once again. What's next, people?
I would like to poke around the body a little bit more, see if he had anything else on him that might provide a clue.
Really concerned about crime scenes? Now,
Nah.
our one
Yeah.
conductor was a different guy.
I mean, no, I'm gonna put, but at this point, we have engaged in some accusations have been hurled. People have been trying to figure things out, so it seems as though we should take a closer look. I'm gonna kind of try to do it as carefully as possible. I can use a, I don't know, what do I have on me? Some sort of like a pen or something.
Yeah, you have a
Writing
pen.
implement, and to like
Conductor's baton.
I'm
By
a
the way,
conductor,
Tony,
and in my spare time, a conductor.
And Tony, by the way, I need to know if there's anything magical in the dining car.
Oh. I don't think you are. Does anyone message me if you've got a magic item on you that would pop up on his
Presumably, the gun is magic.
Yeah, I
gun,
think
yeah.
yeah.
What if it's not though? That'd be exciting. It's a fake gun.
He's invented a mundane gun.
Maybe
Or it
he's a
got swapped
grifter.
out. Yeah.
Maybe he's a grifter. Maybe he was just gonna do one of those, water into gas scams.
I just like the idea that he's like, I made a magic gun, but instead it's just a normal gun and it still kills people.
And nobody's interested in it.
Whatever.
It's
There's no
way better than
magic to that.
Fireball, you guys. We don't care.
No, boring.
All right. Did anyone want to reveal any
It's
magical
me,
items?
Kalen Cool Dude, magic detective. Oh well.
No magic here.
Wait,
I
a
dropped
magic
my detect
detective
magic.
or a magic detective?
Yes.
It was a good move, I thought.
Thank you. Did nothing. But, oh well.
All right. It rules some things out potentially,
yeah,
right?
ruled them out.
Yeah. Do you want to share
He
that you
ruled
did
out the
that?
impossible. That's
Or-
a part of the Sherlock Holmes strategy.
No, I don't.
Nope. Okay.
Do I get to investigate the body?
Yeah. Roll something.
I will roll
Boy,
it
has
up.
this body been investigated.
Yeah.
Is he dead?
15. I'm looking. I want to see if he's got anything else on him.
All right. You
Specifically.
inspect him thoroughly. He does not seem to have anything else on him. He's got, nothing you wouldn't expect. He's got a key to his cabin. He's got his ticket stubs. He has a little silver cigarette case. Standard
Carry
rich.
like a wallet or anything like that.
He's got a money clip.
Okay.
Does not look like anyone has taken his items of value on him. He's got a fancy watch on a chain,
Okay.
a monocle. I don't know. I think
Has the
he's
watch stopped?
He's dangerously close to becoming Mr. Moneybags here at this point. The watch has
He's got the deed
watch,
to Boardwalk.
Yep. Did I mention he has a sack with a $$ sign on it?
Several
used to.
community chess cards.
He's still got that trophy he won for being
Yeah.
second place in a beauty
Yeah,
contest.
it's got a little metal dog. The
Pen
watch
symbols.
the watch is still ticking away, but nice try, James.
I just thought there might have been a clue there.
Yeah, he keeps
Yeah,
it
yeah.
close to his heart.
It deflected the bullets. He's not really dead.
I'll look over Fontaine's shoulder. Oh, still have all his valuables on him, huh?
It seems so. I suspect we had already ruled out the possibility of a robbery gone wrong, but yeah, it doesn't hurt to at least establish that. It does seem as though our problem is not finding a motive, but rather identifying the correct motive. It seems as though many people had a bone to pick with Mr. Baker.
Evelyn, Baker takes this moment to speak up. One of these people killed him, and I insist that you find out immediately and detain them. I won't be trapped in this room with murderers any longer.
I'm afraid, Madam Baker, that we cannot exclude even you from the possibility of murdering your husband.
I will be speaking to my lawyer when we arrive at Fairhaven. This is
That's
unacceptable.
within your rights. Unfortunately, is the best option that we have.
I really want to have Kaylin just stand up and say, now, I'm sure you're wondering why I called you all here.
And then they look,
You were here already.
8-minute pause. You know?
It's the best disguise. For the
Instead,
detective.
actually, Kaylin is going to stand up and say, well, look here. He was killed by
We're not
his...
kidding.
look here, everybody. He was killed with his weapon that he has been showing all over the place that could change the face of Eberron. It could a silent killing device. It could make people rich, but also it is a super deadly weapon. And on this train, we have this man, and I point at Leopold Henderson V, who is convinced that he is going to be rich because of it. And this man, and I point at Arthur Ardent and say, who seems like perhaps he was interested in being a beneficiary of this invention. I wonder if the intent here was to steal the technology. And these two gentlemen seem to be the most likely suspects for that.
Look, I don't have to steal anything from that hack. He couldn't have invented that if he tried.
Well, then where did it come from if he didn't invent it?
Well, it's just been my experience that a lot of the inventions that he's come up with over the years, he's perhaps taken from other people.
I got a
Did that-
theory.
Evidence
Such as you?
Did that happen to you?
Perhaps.
And you
Not
never said
exactly
any-
making an airtight defense.
and you never said anything about it.
Well, okay. I'll level with you, since you're the great detective.
Finally.
Pool boy.
Technically, now, just to be clear, there is a pool boy. He cleans the pool.
That
Some
ain't
of
all
his
he
supplies
claims.
are
He's
kept
the pool
in my closet.
house boy.
But I am not the pool boy. The pool boy keeps the chlorine and the brush in my closet, but I don't clean the pool.
Should we ask
Then you're-
Mrs.
are
Baker
you-
about the pool boy?
Are you the houseboy then?
The pool house boy.
Answer the question.
You answer that one.
No, I'm not. Now, what about you?
Okay, so we went to university together, Egan and me, and we worked on a lot of stuff together. And he basically, as he's done with everything, he takes these inventions and he perverts them for military use.
This was a peaceful gun I invented.
Like, to give the example, like we worked together, and it was on a line of robotic helpers for the elderly and the infirm, and they were small robot pandas, but that's an aside. And they turned out that they were great at like extreme violence, and he took this and sold it to the military.
Leopold
They
Henderson
were
V.
already good at extreme
yes, the
violence.
the Pascal 5000. We made a mint off those delightful killbots.
It turns out they're fantastic at killing old and infirm people.
And you're just blaming him for seeing the military value in that.
Cuts
Just
through
to
the
be
blank
clear.
paper.
It's like Steel Defender, more like Steel Defender, STEAL, because he stole that from me.
Hey, Athel, I got a question. If we were to search you, would we find those charges you said you threw out the window?
You would not. Feel free.
I will search
unbuttoned it.
them.
I start unbuttoning the
Whoa.
my dressing
Whoa.
gown.
Does your robe have buttons?
It's a fancy robe.
All right.
I'll pat him down.
Yeah, give me a quick perception check. you know.
No need.
No. Yep.
Opens.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Whoa.
Whoa!
Oh, whoa.
No need to open the kimono, as it were.
Yeah. Oh.
We can.
All
Is
right,
there what's the
Jonas-
reverse of a perception check? Can I do like a blocking of perception?
A version check.
Yeah.
I close my eyes.
Jonas, how thoroughly do you want to search it? Why am I asking this question? Why? Never ask a question that
Actually,
you don't want to know
Tony,
the answer to.
Tony, I would know if the bullets were in
Yeah.
on his person because of my detect magic.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
already being
so
searched.
That was
thanks.
I'll
just an
say He
extraneous.
doesn't have them.
This
I can
is
tell you
Jonas.
he doesn't have
all
them.
right, Jonas, you search him to the extent you wish to and feel confident that he does not have the bullets on him.
All right.
I would know.
Quick rules question, Tony.
Hmm.
This is a little cheesy, and I apologize.
Mhm.
But I get my superiority dice back on a short rest. Can I assume that I've effectively had a short rest since the last time I did anything?
Yeah, sure.
All right. This whole like for a
Yeah, I know.
warrior like me, this is all short rest, really.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right, you're clean.
I told you I was.
Hmm.
No, I mean I'm impressed with how clean you are.
Well,
Well, and what
you've got
about you?
someone coming around, you have a shower.
What about you, Henderson? What do you know about this? What do you know about his past? And did he, you know, were you thinking that you were going to somehow benefit from his invention? That he would cut you in on it now?
Well, I'm as I've mentioned, I'm
Ruined.
ruined.
You're
Look.
not. You're not. You were not going to make any money off of this.
Look, Egan Baker owes me money, and I don't see how I'm going to get it now. Not with this chap muscling in on things. He says, pointing at Jonas. But as I see it, it's Evelyn is going to be in charge now. But without this prototype finished, without it turned into a working model, it's just a murder weapon. It's not a fortune yet. His death
Are you
does not serve
suggesting
me in
it
any
doesn't-
way.
Are you suggesting it doesn't work because the indication clearly seems to be that it does?
Look, I'm not contesting that he is dead, but there's a difference between killing a man in a dining car on a train and being ready for battle. And can it be mass produced? So many questions.
The publicity we're going to get out of this is going to be amazing. It doesn't matter if it works. Everybody's going to
The
watch.
gun's so powerful it killed its own inventor. I see it now in lights.
Yeah. It
No,
was
as-
involved in some kind of murder on the Eberron train.
look. We have had our differences, me and Baker. We haven't always seen eye to eye, and some of our dealings have not been how I would prefer. But he was letting me back in. I was finally going to make the money I needed. He was going to pay me back what I had coming to me, and I had nothing to gain from this.
Hmm.
Any other questions for Leopold Henderson V?
Did you believe you were really going to get that money back?
I hope so.
Can we roll deception?
Probably insight.
Insight?
Yeah.
I'm good at insight. Oh, 25. I like
He
this.
seems pretty
dice.
sincere. I would say, Leopold Henderson V does seem potentially suspicious. He is the last person, I believe. Well, depends. He is the last confirmed person to have seen Egan Baker alive. Little confusing about the timeline in terms of when Kaylin Cooldude went to sleep and passed through the dining car, and when Leopold Henderson V saw him. But last person to see him awake, at the very least, right?
Mhm. Okay.
I was just going to say, I'm kind of disappointed that Fontaine hasn't put a murder board up on the side of the train with like
Pros and
all of
cons.
our portraits.
I
and-
need to get my yarn.
Yeah. The yarn's in the cargo hold.
And
Special train yarn. Yep.
And you,
Rope,
Mr.
maybe?
Ardent, if Mr. Baker was known to have stolen inventions from others, perhaps yourself among them, that seems as though it would give you potentially a powerful reason to want him dead.
Honestly, I am sorry that he's dead because I can't rub this new relationship in his face.
Well, I see. You're all terrible people.
But what about you, Mr. Fontaine? You seem to to be well aware of Mr. Baker's doings. Perhaps a little too familiar for just a conductor.
It's quite a coincidence, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
As I mentioned, he traveled by train often, and we did know each other before the war, and perhaps that was one reason he chose to travel on the routes that I was working on. But I assure you, killing him on the train would do nothing for me. If anything, it would put my very job at risk. So,
But it'd be satisfying, wouldn't it, to finally put a bullet in the back of that man? That
as
you
I
hated
said,
so
I would
much?
not shoot him in the back. I would have challenged him to his face as a soldier.
Would you
That's not
care
how
to
soldiers work.
elucidate us as to what your relationship was like during the war, sir? Very intriguing.
We encountered each other from time to time. He had a way of weaseling his way into circumstances that he thought he could benefit from.
We all know that Mr. Baker was not a fighter in the war, and you sir, you were. Thank you for your service. What's the nature of your relationship?
Thank you for your service, you say with one hand while you slap me verbally with the other. The nature of relationship was he attempted to do business during the war, and occasionally I found myself, much as I hate to admit it, in need of having somebody with his sort of connections, his sort of ingenuity. But I must say, as I've maintained before, I had no reason to kill him or want him dead myself.
Let's put aside the
To benefit
motive.
in a way.
Let's put aside the motive for now. Let's look at means. Who could have got this gun on the train?
Well, it seems he himself got the gun on the train.
You didn't search him?
As I
slid in.
mentioned, I did search him. My faculties are not perfect. He was an artificer. He had ways of concealing things about his person. as
Let me
I'm
tell
sure
you, we
so
don't
well
have
know.
ways. We don't have ways of concealing weapons like that.
May
True,
I
I
ask,
just searched him. He didn't have anything concealed on him.
may I ask everyone here a question? Did anyone see Egan with the gun when he was alive on this journey?
No.
No.
Was he showing it? Because we
No,
don't
he-
know for a fact that he brought it on himself and that someone else didn't bring it on.
Well, I think the
I
question
didn't.
then is who else had access to the gun?
Who else could have built such a gun? Who has
Evelyn-
artificing
Evelyn-
abilities?
Evelyn Baker.
I've told you.
Spokes up. She says he had the gun with him.
Okay.
He wouldn't let it leave his side. He
He
was
wouldn't let it.
no
So
interest
someone-
no interest in checking it into storage.
So someone allowed Evelyn. Did he smuggle the gun on board on his person?
I don't know the details of how he got it on board, but he's had it in his holster on his side for the whole time.
All
He's
right.
been talking about it. He showed it to Henderson. Henderson nods glumly. Harumph.
A sad harump.
He's now harumping instead of saying he's ruined. You know,
I do-
got some-
I do wonder, Mr. Conductor, as the person who found the body and proclaimed it, as somebody with access to all portions of the train, and as somebody who failed in the job of preventing this weapon from being allowed on, with a prior history with the deceased, I do wonder, sir, if you might be the one responsible.
Are you
It's
some
He
kind of-
seemed real interested in my
accusation.
possessions just a moment ago, trying to go through my cabin. He probably did the
What
same
about
thing
the
to Egan's.
conductor's cabin? What about that?
Oh.
Perhaps
Yeah,
we should
I
investigate
think-
that cabin.
Hmm.
This is a distraction. I resent the implication.
Let's all go to the conductor's cabin together.
Field trip.
Hooray!
It's
All
most
right.
regular for you to go to my cabin, but if there is no other way to prove to you my innocence, very well, then we shall do that.
Is that what we're doing?
Yep.
All right.
Party.
So I believe that
I'm
the
s-
order in the train is that you're going to go from the dining car, and all of you are going together.
Yep.
You're bringing Evelyn and Leopold Henderson V with you.
All of us.
All of us, as a big giant group, I'm reminded of scenes from Clue, are going to
Yes.
move. So I believe you're going to go through the section of the next carriage where several people had their cabins, and then the next carriage after that is basically there's a cabin for the conductor, and there's a galley, which would where meals would be prepared if meal services had not been cut off. Beyond that, second class and cargo. So
I
we're
just
saying-
wanted food. I understand.
And Tony,
we could-
I'm casting detect magic as we walk in case
Okay.
there are magical items in either of those cars.
And I'm going to grab a pretzel as we go past the gallery.
I love that there's just a man in a bathrobe eating pretzels wandering down the halls of a train, a murder train.
Yeah, you know what? Murders have been solved with less.
Okay. All right. So you make your way. Do you have to cast it again? Is that you're just spamming detect magic?
Yeah, I'm casting it again. It's a cantrip, or I can cast it at will, so it's fine.
Okay. So let's see here. Remind me, people, what if you have anything in your cabins that would potentially be revealed by a detect magic as you pass through the carriage. At this point, I believe Kayla and Cool Dude will have cast detect magic in the both of carriages with your cabins, the dining car, and now going into the galley car with the conductor's cabin. All right. Let's see here. Just looking at.
We're also looking, as a reminder, we're also looking for any clothing or other bloody items that would be a clue.
Yeah, so if there's bloody footprints, don't forget to mention those.
Yeah.
Yes. That go all the way to somebody's cabin.
If only I had detect blood. Oh man. Although I guess that everybody would show up on that because
Yeah.
everybody's got blood.
Yeah, full of it. All right. So you make
Got
your
plenty.
way.
Why are you looking for it?
Did anyone message me with anything that would need to have popped up as you passed through the second cabin? Doesn't
I did,
seem
yes.
like it.
No.
Mm-mm.
All right, and so you make your way into the galley car, which is this is now kind of you're fully kind of behind the scenes. This is not a place where first class passengers would pass. Let me just check here. And so Fontaine, you were kind of going along with
Tony,
this.
Tony, I did IM you something.
Suspicious.
I don't.
No, it's perfectly fine. It's nothing anybody. It's in Slack, but it's nothing anybody needs to know about.
Yeah. You know what? Give me a quick stealth check, Jonas, to do that. Does that seem reasonable?
Oh, pretty bad.
How bad is pretty bad?
5.
So I'm gonna say, who is escorting Fontaine? Fontaine, fair to say you are not excited. You're cooperating, but not happy to go along with this.
Yeah,
I think
correct.
I am, right? Because I kind of initiated this.
You insisted, so yes.
All right. So Kalen Cool Dude, you are escorting the conductor. Athor, where are you in all this?
I'm with the pretzels.
Okay. Valente, how are you feel about this whole situation?
I'm let's say in the middle.
All right. And Kaylee?
I'm as far away from Mrs. Baker as possible.
Okay. I'm going to say you all kind of notice Jonas kind of hanging back as if he's not going to follow.
Mr. Baker, perhaps you could be care to join us.
Who? Oh, right, Mr. Baker. That's me. Sure, let's go. I catch up with the rest of the group. Sure.
Okay. There was an attempt to sneak off. It did not go successfully. All right. Even with a giant crowd of people. So you make your way to the galley. In the galley, there's it's a similar size, but much more Spartan cabin for the conductor. And I mean, Fontaine, are you just going to unlock your personal cabin for them?
I suppose so. I don't know that
Kalen?
I have much of an option.
All right. Kalen, I think this is your This is your Inquisition.
I don't know what you expect to find, but I will tell you that you will most certainly not find it.
Let's look around, not just with our eyes this time. Let's poke around with our hands and
Mhm.
fingers. And
All
stuff.
right, I turned the place upside down. Let's go crazy.
Yeah, let's
folks.
do it.
Flipping the mattress over.
Get
pulling
in
doors
there.
out.
No, I asked you to be respectful. This is my cabin. This is where I sleep.
All right. Give me a quick perception check. Anyone who's doing that.
I got a 19.
Dan, let me know.
How
if there's
many of you
anything
could possibly fit in this
Yeah.
8 game?
I would say 3 people can search the cabin at a time.
We'll take turns. It's fine.
Mm.
I'm going to spend a
Just
superiority
cycle
die.
through.
Oh, God, you love this.
Like, as two battle masters, we understand what I'm doing.
It's true.
eye contact
Actually,
with him the whole time that
surprisingly
you're searching.
I'm surprisingly scientific about it.
Mm.
I am going to make an intimidation roll as I do this, and I will use my superiority die to add to that.
15 investigation.
Mm.
18 here.
30 intimidation.
All right. You know what? I'm gonna say 30 intimidation. I think probably anyone who feels like they would be intimidated by the by Fontaine. I don't know if Jonas would or not. I think you have disadvantage because you suddenly are worried that he's gonna punch you in the back of the head while you're searching.
What was your rank in the army? Were you an officer or a
Gentlemen.
I would.
Nice.
And that's how the Eberron Army works, Cannon.
Advantage of it. No, I was not an officer. I would have been sort of like a non-com at best.
like a sergeant though?
Yeah.
Like if you had authority in the army and you're using intimidation, you will totally.
Yes, I did. I would say I probably would have had at least some, like, at least a sergeant's rank.
Brony,
That's
my
enough to-
disadvantage perception was an 18.
Oh,
My
very good.
disadvantage is 20.
Wow. Jonas, did you do something with yours after you resolved how you felt about his rank?
Oh no, his intimidation completely works on me, and I back out of the room scared.
Wow. Okay.
Drop and give me 20.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Well,
He's got that
Valente,
air of authority.
Valente and
Kalen.
Kalen, you are poking. We've got a Kaylee and a Kalen. It's
Yeah.
it's bad on my brain.
I've had canon that they're like siblings, like secretly.
Secret
Ka-
siblings.
I believe.
Sure.
Kaili, sorry.
Kaili, yes.
Yeah.
You are poking around. You find he's got a big ring of keys. It looks like it goes to the compartments in the cargo car. There's a nice kind of blueprint style map of the train that you are riding on. There's a wand of magic detection in like a nice fancy case that he probably used when he was supervising the loading on of passengers and of equipment into the cargo car. Other than that, not much here. He's got a change of his civilian clothing, maybe one paperback book. Yeah.
I expect that the 30 intimidation might not be enough to dissuade them, but perhaps when they find nothing, they will be suitably chagrined.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Fontaine, anything else exciting that I've missed that they would have found in your
I don't spare, like, probably a civilian set of clothes,
Yep.
non-uniform clothes, not much else. Very Spartan existence.
no decorations in here?
No. This is for work.
Yeah.
Are you satisfied with your inspection? Perhaps we could return to the dining car.
I'm satisfied.
Hmm.
I will
got a
take this
pretzel.
wand with me when I go then.
So I believe the wand would show up on your detect magic.
Thank you.
Caleb.
Yeah. Detect magic.
So-
Detect magic.
Like,
detect magic.
recognizes like, yes.
Hey.
Game recognized game.
Anything else you want to do while you're in Fontaine's cabin?
No, but the galley's right here. We could get some food.
I see
Yes.
them. Oh, the pretense.
I recommend the pretzels. They're great.
Some steampunk submarines.
I'm just stuffing things in the pockets of my.
I grab a
that-
tray of
Yeah.
sandwiches.
Now that we have satisfied your curiosity, perhaps you will satisfy mine. Why was Mr. Baker so content to let you live in his pool house without paying anything for all these years? Did you perhaps
Well-
know something about him that he did not wish known by others?
Well, being around Mr. Baker always meant you knew things that others would not know. But what I would say is that he did me a kindness I made a terrible mistake as a young man, and that terrible mistake should have led to my death. And it was only the kindness of Egan who vouched for me and my whereabouts. And the only reason I am still alive is because he allowed me to stay in his home, or in the outbuilding behind his home, for all of these
may I
years.
further inquire? Egan Baker, I think many of us would perhaps agree, not a man who typically acted out of the kindness of his own heart. What was in it for him in vouching for you?
I don't know if you're aware of his status, in his family status, in his status with the with House Kenneth. In suffice it to say that the eastern house of House Kenneth in Sharn, he was at odds with them. He was on the outs, and my indiscretion, by covering for me, he got some bit of revenge against the people in Sharn who hated him and did not allow him to have higher standing in his house. He always he bore a grudge from when he was very young against the house, particularly those in the house in Sharn, and therefore he did it out of spite, is what I'm saying. He protected me because we were friends, and I would die without his protection, but also because of the spite. For sure.
That sounds like the Mr. Baker we all know.
Plus, I think I entertained him from time to time. I think he enjoyed having me around, but also the spite was always there. Did I mention the spite? He was a very spiteful man.
His favorite beverage.
So much spite.
And although he is of House Kenneth lineage, again, I do need to say that they hated him in Sharn, and he was never allowed to go to the Christmas party or what have you.
Ah, yes, no, never played in any of their fabled reindeer games.
In their reindeer games, indeed not.
And what was the nature of this youthful indiscretion? Did you murder somebody on a train?
Kaelin gives a meaningful look toward Valanthe and says, suffice it to say, I made a dangerous indiscretion.
Would you have called it a dangerous liaison?
If I had thought better of it, yes, I would.
Were there any proposals that were indecent in any way?
Was there any heated bodies? I don't know any other movies.
I
How
assure you,
fatal was this attraction?
Was
I
this?
assure
You
you
say
the
this game
only-
was a reindeer game, but was it not a Patriot game?
I assure you, the only indecent proposal was that I
Were
should
you on
be
Christmas
murdered,
vacation?
and instead I was allowed to live in the pool house.
Mm.
I wish this was more exciting and relevant to the murder of my friend of many decades. But yes, indeed.
Oh, why did you do
I
it
had a
then?
bit of an indiscretion and had to live in a pool house. That is what
Fontaine
happened.
seems weirdly to be touched by this revelation. He like puts a hand and like pats Kayla on the shoulder. There, son. We've all done things we are perhaps not proud of.
I'm just
I mean,
wondering
I'm
if
not talking about me. I'm talking about
if Valanthe has any.
It's like that he's not
she-
proud of.
Is Valanthe reacting in any way to the fact that I just outed a little story about her past too?
Yes, I just said a story that you're not proud of, and I just shake my head.
The room turns around and looks at you.
And actually, Kaelin says, lying to you about my status was the greatest mistake of my life, and now all other mistakes came from that. And I've apologized so many times. I have been living in a pool house, so I feel like I've paid for it to a certain extent.
Seems like a pretty
You
fancy
have.
pool house.
My,
like
my
Think about
closet-
redecorating. It's
my
a
closet
huge
smells
pool.
like chlorine. My closet smells anyway.
Just so
I
everybody
don't need to
understands,
pity.
this is a huge pool house.
Yeah, I
He
hear
has a
sometimes they can fit
reception
up.
room in
I
his
hear-
pool
Bugs.
house.
I
There's
hear
like
sometimes
bugs
they
in
fit a
there.
boat in
His
it.
pool house has got a pool in it.
Every time the pool sweeper turns on, all the plumbing is in my wall, and it's very loud.
Well, I suppose since we've established,
I
you
bet
know,
it is all steampunk, spitting steam everywhere.
it seems as though we have established many of our relationships with Mr. Baker, but one still remains questionable to me. And he's going to look at Kaili and say, if you were his potentially you and he had a well, as to say you had a
She was his mistress.
Thank you.
Yes.
Evelyn Baker makes a retching noise.
But you
No.
And
perhaps
secretary.
did
So
not
she,
seem
she indeed she did take care of all of his affairs.
you did not seem particularly
Including the internal ones.
broken up by his demise. In fact, you were with Professor Ardent over there instead. Why did you stay with him?
I was actually planning on leaving him when we got to the conference.
Says Evelyn.
He has bought my quiet. What's like
Silence.
Silence.
Yes, thank you.
Silence!
He has bought my silence with many, many gifts, and I accepted those gifts, not realizing my own personal worth. And my plan after the conference was to leave with Professor Ardent and no longer be a bother to anyone in the Baker family.
You say about your silence on what topic?
Evelyn says, I just want to say this here with everyone. Whoever the murderer is, I hope they kill her next. I've said
How
it.
dare you? I have kept
You all
my
heard
silence
me
on
say
your
it.
relationship with him. You both hated each other. There's no wonder he went rambling around to wherever he went. He absolutely hated you. You were terrible.
But you did not seem to care for him either. I mean, what started you down the path of becoming his mistress if you did not particularly like him?
I was working for him, and he seduced me with presents.
Okay.
Who among us?
Seems
Defense
reasonable.
rests.
Can I just say I did not know this guy as long as the rest of you. He seemed fine. He let me into his home out of the goodness and decency of his heart.
Because he had no other heirs.
Still, each of you look into your hearts. I walk in. You gonna accept me? I don't think you would. She sure didn't, pointing at Evelyn. But this man, pointing at the clean tablecloth on top of the big bloody splotch
we're in
on
a
the
different-
ground.
I think
To
we're
be
in a
fair,
different
we're-
car, but you can point at another
We're
tablecloth.
several carriages away, but you know.
Pointing at
I
your
start to
tablecloth.
dramatically
Dog.
point at the
Yes.
ground, then realize there's nobody there.
we all agree on the train.
Try
You
to-
point corpse word. Corpse
I
word. which is
take
the
a
back of
minute
the
to remember
train.
which direction the
Yeah.
dining car is. That man back
Yep.
there.
Rolled
You accepted
engineering.
me.
Yep.
He allowed, and I don't know. I thought that was very generous of him. I thought he was an okay guy.
It seemed as though he must have had something to gain from. Are you officially assigned as his heir?
Well, I mean, since you bring it up, I turn to Evelyn. Any word on that will? I know this is an awkward time, but this is when one normally brings this sort of thing up. What are we doing
They
here?
do usually wait until after the funeral, but yes.
Jonas, I
You
think we
the
both
company
know
should
that you
just go
just
into
arrived.
stasis?
There is little documentation as to your lineage, if any. And
Oh, I've got documentation, sister. Don't worry about that.
Well, I don't believe Egan has had a chance to revise his paperwork before his untimely demise.
Oh, that's going to be more complicated then, huh? Any of you guys know a lawyer?
I do.
Is any of you multi-class lawyer? If you are, you have to tell us.
Fontaine, there must be a lot of train divorces that go on.
Yeah, there's a train lawyer at the
Yeah,
next cabin.
You know,
down.
as you know, the captain of a ship is authorized to marry people, but a conductor is authorized to divorces.
Canon.
Kane and Kaylin,
Yeah,
attorneys at train.
Annette gains inspiration for correct use of canon.
Fontaine, you asked. I don't think there is official documentation of him acknowledging me, but we all saw him acknowledge me.
I mean, he brought you along on a business trip. Says this is.
Yeah, why would he
Henderson
do
event.
that? Look at me. Why would anyone do that?
He lets this man live in his pool house for God's sake.
Yeah, we learned
He's
all
as-
about that. He had a
He's
good,
as much an heir as you
honest
are,
reason.
which is to say, not an heir.
Ms. Baker, Madam Baker, perhaps is there a will, or perhaps Mr. Henderson, you are aware? Is there some document attesting to where Mr. Baker's fortune goes after his death? I just noticed the body is in the gallery. We bring it, carry it through all the cabins.
Is this become
Carried it.
a weekend at Bernie's situation? Just gonna put that back there. I may have clicked and dragged all the icons.
Listen, if it comes down to it, I can get a will in 30 minutes once this train lands. So don't worry about that.
I will. Perhaps I can present a piece of information that may help us understand this situation. I mentioned how at odds Egan was with House Cannith in Sharn. We are on a train to Fairhaven. He was intending to see if he could connect with House Cannith in Fairhaven, and the Baron there is a rival of the Baron back in Sharn. I don't know any more details about it, but he was very interested in the house in Fairhaven. I don't know if his rebuke of the house in Sharn would be a huge political move or an issue, or whether that he bringing his technology to Fairhaven was part of that plan. But that was my understanding of his plan, was to take this to House Cannith in Fairhaven. Maybe nobody cares. Anybody care? Dun dun dun!
I agree with that.
Revelation.
I knew about that. I thought
So
he told me that. Why would he tell me
Jonas,
that if I wasn't his heir?
Jonas, how do you know? Like, how do you know what that he is your father?
Found a stack of love letters. Picture
Who's-
it. There I
who's your
am.
Your
mother?
mother.
And who is your mother?
My mother was a saint. She raised me all alone in a tiny Sharn slum because that man, my father, Egan Baker.
Point several cars back.
Yeah, that man,
Back there.
that man, Egan Baker, abandoned me. He abandoned us. She had to raise me all alone. I had to make my way in the world all alone. I go to a war. I become a hero. After the war, I'm trying to make my way through the world. My dear sweet mother dies. I go home. I look through her things. I find these letters. These are letters from Egan Baker. They prove definitively he's my father. I take the letters to him. He says, "You're right. These prove without a shadow of a doubt that I am your father and you are my son."
Well, I think we can all agree that making your way in the world today takes everything.
Exactly.
I don't believe that he would write letters and provide them for his affair. Like,
It was a while ago. He was a different man 35 years ago. He was in love with my mother until I was born. And then he was out of there.
Well, why, if he left you and abandoned you, why would he take you in later? And why
You'd
would
have
you
to
let
ask him.
him? Do you not resent him for abandoning you?
A little, yes. But also he's very rich. Listen, I am going to be entirely upfront about this. Finding out that you are the heir to a very rich person who dies conveniently. I didn't know the guy. I kind of liked him, and that seems like more than the rest of you did. I'm not broken up about this. This is great for me.
Which seems
Why lie about that?
Let me tell you, I have no magic spell that will tell me for sure that this is his son. I can only tell you there was a baby, and I saw that baby, and it was Egan's baby.
He had
if
giant
this is not-
hands.
If this is not
Was it sweet
his
and
heir,
dimpled, just
there
like
is an
me?
heir somewhere. So it might be this fellow. It might very well be. And
It is.
and Egan thought that too.
Did
Yeah.
you know his mother? How like what did you catch the baby when
It was so long ago.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Wait,
Somebody said I.
Wait.
might know who his mother is, which is why I want to know what is the name of your mother, because
What? Okay,
In
both of you say it
addition-
on the count of 3.
All right.
I may have my family, aside from being theater people, we fix things.
They
And
do.
Egan asked me to fix a little problem. That was this baby, and I
Seems
paid
to have
off
grown
the
up into a
mother.
big problem.
So yes, I paid off the mother of this child to go away and leave. So I don't know. Your mother may have been living in a slum, but she should have had money from me.
Her
through
name was
and Egan.
her name was Matheria.
It's interesting.
And
That's a weird
And-
answer for that.
No,
Nope,
you
different
say.
lady.
Was the woman you paid off named
It was through
Matheria?
it. Well, it was through channels, and I don't.
So you
I
don't
don't
even
have
know her name.
What?
I just know
What-
I
what
gave
is
her
this?
money. So why is your mother living in a slum?
Well, she's not now. She's dead. But thanks for bringing that up. It's
Yes.
super nice of you. You know, I'm an orphan, by the way. I think we could all take a moment to think
Perhaps-
I
about
guess
that.
technically now, yeah.
Perhaps Kaylin had the name, but I just was the delivery service.
The
I mean,
delivery.
What
of
do I
the
know? Do I know anything
baby,
here?
Too?
I don't
Um,
know. Maybe I know the name. I don't.
You
know
know,
her
I mean,
name.
this would have been more than 20 years ago, Kaylin, right? But
Who
Matheria is a
remembers
fantasy
your
version of
lifelong
Martha.
friend who had a secret baby with a
the
lady?
baby
Who-
mama's name.
Who remembers any of that?
What about
Yeah,
Mrs.
this is like
Baker? Does
8
she remember?
8 seasons back on this guy's soap opera life.
Yeah.
Nobody remembers any of it.
I
there
will
was
say,
the 3 evil twins.
Kaylin, up to you. I don't know if you would have known. I mean, it sounds like he was not exactly proud of this relationship. So
But
Well, I saw the baby. That's all I can tell you. I do remember seeing the baby.
Did the baby have any interesting birthmarks?
It was a baby, man. I don't know what to tell you. Just a baby.
wasn't
thank-
even that cute.
thanks, Kaylin.
It's okay. I grew
I
into
mean,
it.
it was kind of stocky and chubby, but you know, so
Giant
this guy.
hands.
So
It's like
you know,
it's believable.
know.
But
We
I
see
think
a
very
it,
flashback
may have
similar,
been,
memory, and
actually.
it may have been a boy.
The baby just has huge hands that you keep forgetting.
This is great.
Well, we've concluded nothing. But we've uncovered a lot of skeletons in the closet.
That's we should have gone to the galley a long time ago.
That's where all the secrets come out, in the galley.
It's because of the food.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You know, all murder mysteries and eventually end up in the kitchen. It's just like a good party. Well, should you return to the dining car?
I guess.
Is there anything else to conduct here?
Why are you looking at me?
That's the conductor.
Yeah, conductor.
More food.
Fine, maybe take some snacks from the galley and we'll go back to the dining car.
All right, Kaylin, as you are heading out, you know you've still got your detect magic going. You get like a little like a ping.
From
It seems like the direction of kind of the there's some like staff toilets between the galley and the conductor's cabin. Seems like there might be something magic in there.
who's near me?
Who is near Kaylin when this happens?
Probably me, since he was with me a bunch of the time.
All right, I'm gonna say to the conductor, and everyone else can hear this too. Hold on a second. I'm getting a ping of magic from
Swan?
in here.
Yeah, to be fair, Kaylin Coldew says that all the time. I'm getting a big of magic, man.
No.
All right, all right.
I gotta go downtown to get it.
Are you a cop? You have to tell me if you're a cop.
These are the staff toilets.
Well, open this one.
Are
Open
you
this
sure?
one. There's something
All
in
right. I will open it.
All right. There's basically kind of a little, you know, it's a tiny little, you know, basically like cubby, well, with a toilet and a little sink. You know, basically imagine the train version of an airport bathroom. It's an airplane bathroom, even worse than an airport bathroom.
Yeah.
You know, and it's kind of cold as if it's not insulated from the elements, and you can sense that there's some magical item like tucked like behind the toilet as a concealed.
We'll,
All right, I
one of us
instruct
will.
the conductor to fish it out of there.
Get his
It's
fingerprints
behind
all over
though,
it.
right? It's not inside.
Yeah,
No,
no,
behind.
behind.
Yeah, like where you
Behind,
would
like
tape
behind.
a gun if you were in the.
Yeah,
I'm trying to do this
exactly.
all
Why do you
before-
say
I
that?
don't know.
Why is that your example?
Where would you tape a gun, Tony?
No, Dan
If
or
not
cannoli.
behind.
Both of them could be taped there.
You gotta leave the cannolis.
Yeah.
Take the gun.
All right.
So yeah, final respect there. What
All
do
right, your
what
respect-
do I produce?
You feel it feels like a bundle of cloth, kind of damp bundle of cloth.
I will unwrap it in plain view of Kaylin.
All
whoever's
right,
peering in
and I
behind
guess
it.
probably most of you had probably stopped to see what was going. We'll say that Evelyn and Leopold were the first to be heading back, and they turn around to look at you. And Fontaine unfurls from the bathroom. It seems to be a fancy glimmer weave dress soaked with blood.
Bump.
And that's where we'll
Bump.
end today. Was this dress worn by the murderer? Who would have looked the most fantastic in it? Or is this all just a
Leopold.
ploy to put suspicion on somebody else? Suspicion being laid by the true murderer. Why is Monty just so dang suspicious no matter what he does? Questions such as
listen.
these. Tune in next time to Total Party Kill. The end. Woo!
Nice cliffhanger, Tony.
I was
a good
looking
one.
for it.
That's
I was
good.
looking for it.
Yeah.
So that's 3 hours of Dungeons and Dragons. I think our plan is to conclude this adventure next weekend, approximately the same time. There are theoretically only 2 hours left before this train arrives in Fairhaven. Things get weird if combat breaks down because then suddenly the game clock gets squished. But you get the idea. But perhaps you are close to apprehending a murderer or not. Who knows? Anything could happen.
Who knows? I was
Players.
seconds away from casting sleep on Dan, taking his keys and saying, "Let's check out the train." But I decided, and Dan's like, "No, sure, search my quarters, whatever."
By
still-
check out, do you
Nothing
mean
to hide.
hijack? Because
Yeah.
I do. This is our train now.
There is an engineer at the front who probably
Throw Egan Baker out the back and take the adventure over.
Engineer
I
at the
mean,
front,
just to be
Warforged
clear,
at the back.
Jonas, I know you're not an experienced train guy, but the train is literally on rails. So, it's like, I don't know, actually, it's a
We can
lightning
take this
train.
anywhere we wanna go.
Maybe not. It's like, it goes to Fairhaven or it
Where
doesn't.
we're going, we don't need rails.
It goes to Fairhaven. Does it stop or does it then go to another city?
Keep going. Yeah.
I
Depends
guess
if we slow
rails got to
down.
keep going somewhere.
Ghost
Well,
train.
listeners, I enjoy. Some people put in the YouTube chat. Some people put in the Incomparable Slack who they thought the murderer would be. Please conjecture away. I will be very amused by those things, and perhaps we'll find out who the real murderer is next week. Perhaps not. I don't know. Whatever.
I don't
The
know.
It'll be
real
kind of a sad
murderer was
adventure if we don't
inside of
find
us
something out.
all along.
Ah!